You know the camera was
Ponytail
talking for
chorus
her, right?
is the best
Ponytail
name.
chorus.
It's like, wow, that's
Just
a crotch.
normal things
Okay,
happening.
thanks.
Don't worry.
I wasn't the only one that saw
Ponytail
that, right?
cadaver.
Yes, you were,
I
'cause I didn't see it.
Oh, I saw it.
I'm off the hook.
Okay. All right.
You off
Like,
the
I
chain.
felt like somebody else had to notice that.
You off the chain. I did. So what you're saying is you off the chain.
What?
Ponytail chorus. I love it.
Ponytail
I'm
chorus.
dying.
So
It's better than
We are
ponytail
live.
tail.
all right.
All right.
So
YouTube link in both places.
Beautiful.
perfect. Thank
I'll go show
you.
that real quick.
All right. So
Okay, cool, great, wonderful.
good, great, grand, wonderful. Okay.
Right.
So I'm a chorus member tonight. Y'all take the lead on this. Welcome to doing this. I'm not even gonna intro you. Y'all can do that.
Welcome
tonight.
to doing this.
Go for it, there, Daniel.
Okay. So welcome everybody to Perks of Being a Wallflower. I actually am realizing that the player's style book has not been published yet. So I'm gonna turn this bitch on its head and have everybody introduce themselves.
Ooh.
And I'll be
Not
playing
fun.
Charlie tonight. We can popcorn the rest.
How are we doing?
Popcorn to we'll popcorn, and then I'll popcorn to me, and then I will pass it off to my eyes closed, point the screen, and go from there. So, hello, Sean Watson, pronouns he or they, are not playing the father character this time, and I'm excited to bring you an incredibly sassy and incredibly queer Patrick. I'm going to kick it over to Ginger.
Oh, hi. I am going to be playing everybody's least favorite girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth, and Charlie's sister, and like 7 other people. So the person below me is Miss Sarah Jameson.
Crap. All right. So I'm taking a back seat tonight. I don't even have control of the YouTube, so I'm literally just a bystander tonight, playing like 6 different types of mom, playing Alice, and also getting so sweet karma because I made Pat be Mark and Juno, and I get to be Aunt Helen tonight. So she's drinking a lot tonight. Is what basically boils down to. I'm gonna kick it down to actual Patrick, not character Patrick, who's below me.
Hello, I'm Patrick. My pronouns are he and him. I am playing the father, Mr. Bill Callahan, the priest, Mr. Callahan, and Craig. I said Mr. Callahan twice. Bill Anderson. Paul Rudd tonight. I am your poor excuse for a Paul Rudd tonight.
Oh.
Who's below you?
Below me is Danny, so I forgot I got to throw it to somebody. So to forgetting names.
To who?
names are
That's why I
on the
had
script.
everybody
You
do
can
this.
look there and just choose
I'm
one.
sorry. Cadaver. Let's go Cadaver. 'Cause that's too low.
Hey!
You're like, wait, do I give real names? Do I give performer names? I'm so confused right
See,
now.
I was like,
We'll
I don't
figure it
know.
out.
And then the character names are people's actual names. So
I
it's
know.
it's lovely. It's
Um,
lovely.
I'm Cadaver. I'm gonna be some guys. Cool.
A lot of
Elizabeth, take it
douches,
away.
actually.
A lot of we owe you. Cadaver, we were talking before you got on the stream. We absolutely owe you for
All the douches.
this.
I'm just glad it lined up because I did not check the date and I did not check my schedule. So when you guys were like, "All right, see you Saturday," I went, "Am I doing anything Saturday?" So thank the heavens for letting it happen.
All right. Who you
All right,
got?
Who's below you?
Or who are you kicking it to?
Oh, Elizabeth, take it away.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth. My pronouns are she and her, and I will be playing the part of the love interest, and her name is Sam.
Not
Her name
fuck
is
Sam.
not
That's my favorite name.
I'm just gonna call you fuck all night.
I was not prepared. I was putting on my makeup, and Danny called me and was like, "Are you gonna be here?" And I was like, guess, yeah, here I am.
Fucking trying. Damn.
And I'm gonna pass over to our narrator, Miss Mona.
All right. Well, I'm Mona. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm going to be reading everything else that people aren't reading tonight as the narrator.
All
I will be
right.
the spoken
Well,
unspoken, I will be the spoken
that-
unspoken, and I will pass it off to Jonathan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Yaki, he, him pronouns, and I will be playing the parts of nose tackle, emergency rooms doctor, smartass freshman, senior bully, Rocky MC, Chris, twin girl number 2, policeman, gossip, Candace's friend, Dr. Burton.
We
In
really
no
gave,
particular order.
We really
All
gave.
star.
We gave. Yay, chorus! Give us nothing.
Yay.
all right. Is that everyone?
I
Yes.
think so.
All right.
It's
So
everybody that
that
I
was
can
our
see.
cast. We are super excited to be raising money for RAIN tonight, and they are all about helping and supporting those who are victims of sexual violence. And so kind of dovetailing into that, sorry, I stutter a little bit. You would think I'm better at this. There are a couple things that we are going to be dealing with throughout the script reading tonight that might be sensitive material for some people. So I want to kind of get out ahead of it and say that we will be talking about childhood sexual assault. There will be suicide references, and then there's also some homophobic slur content. Make sure that if you are someone who is sensitive to these things, that you are taking care of yourself. We're I think I can speak for everyone when we say that we would prefer everybody to be taking care of themselves than to watch us. So if there's a moment that you need to step out, if there's a moment that you need to shut things off, if you need to take a moment, if you have to have someone on call, and also all of us are here if you need to message someone after the show. We can either hook you up with resources or just kind of talk to you for a while. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to our narrator.
Hey, Franz. All right. Oh, hold on. Thing's gonna drive me crazy all night. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. I don't need it. So, perks of being a wallflower. Fade in. Exterior of the tunnel at night. The titles begin over black. We hear the sound of an old typewriter. Someone reaching out to us. The bell dings, announcing the end of a line. And we see our title, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Music begins and the picture fades up. We're in the city, downtown Pittsburgh, looking out of the black window like a child in the backseat of a station wagon. We see the lights on buildings and everything that makes us wonder. We see the bridge and the river below, and then we enter the tunnel. We keep moving backwards, watching the lights, golden, alive, and hypnotic. The music carries us as we float out of the tunnel, onto another bridge, and over the highway. We move into the night sky, back through the trees, through the window, and into the interior of Charlie's bedroom, nighttime. It is a neat and tidy little room. Few posters or books. Charlie is 15. He's innocent, hopeful, awkward, likable, and everyone but his classmates typecast. He sits at his desk writing a letter in pencil as he tapes the title song through the radio of his cassette boombox.
Dear friend, I'm writing to you because she said that you listen and understand and didn't try to sleep with that person at that party, even though you could have. Please don't try to figure out who she is, because then you might figure out who I am, and I don't want you to do that. I just need to know that people like you exist. Like, if you met me, you wouldn't think I was the weird kid who spent time in the hospital, and I wouldn't make you nervous.
Charlie anxiously awaits throughout the hallway, or anxiously walks through the hallway of his suburban split-level house.
I hope it's okay for me to think that. You see, I haven't really talked to anyone outside of my family all summer.
Charlie moves to the living room where Dad watches football. Mom reads a page turner and sips her white wine. Charlie waits for them to notice him, and waits, and waits. In the interior of Charlie's bedroom again, Charlie sits at his desk, continuing his letter in pencil.
But tomorrow is my first day of high school ever, and I really need to turn things around this year. So I have a plan.
We cut to the interior of Mill Grove High School hallway to the last day. We see it in Charlie's mind, slow motion and wondrous. The kids clear out their lockers by throwing their old papers in the air like a New York confetti parade.
As I enter the school for the first time, I will visualize what it will be like on the last day of my senior year.
Charlie walks down the hall, triumphant, confident, happy.
Unfortunately, I counted, and that's
Smash cut to the interior of Mill Grove High School hallway on the first day. Reality. The bell rings. We see a chaotic maze from Charlie's point of view. A senior bully leads the ritual, making dozens of freshmen hop down the hall.
Hop, freshman toads, hop. Move it, boys.
As seniors grab more victims, Charlie moves to the wall.
1,385 days from now.
Varsity football players pass wearing their letter jackets.
Man, you got big.
Worked out all summer. Rock hard, dude.
At the front of the pack is Brad Hayes, 17, the quarterback. He's good looking, charismatic, and friendly. The big man on campus. Nice guy, too.
Did you guys get a room?
They laugh. Charlie turns to the trophy case to avoid them, trying to make himself as small as possible.
Just 1,385 days.
Again, in the interior of the Mill Grove High School, we now move to the cafeteria at lunchtime. Charlie moves down the line with his sister, Candace. She is 17, a beautiful type A, straight A Pris.
In the meantime, I'd hoped that my sister Candace and her boyfriend Derek would have let me eat lunch with their Earth Club.
Seniors only. What are you doing with a plastic spork?
Candace turns to her boyfriend Derek. Derek is such a pussy. The most masculine thing about him is his ponytail.
I don't want to bring back silverware.
Derek, your Earth Club treasurer.
Derek takes the silverware like a beaten dog. Charlie watches them move into the intimidating cafeteria. In the cafeteria later, Charlie sits in the corner alone, observing everyone having a great time with their friends. He sees a pretty girl with blonde hair having the best first day. This is Susan, 14.
When my sister said no, I thought maybe my old friend Susan would want to have lunch with me.
Charlie catches her eye and waves, but she looks away.
In middle school, Susan was very fun to be around, but now she doesn't like to say hi to me anymore.
Charlie turns his attention to the quarterback, Brad Hayes.
And then there's Brad Hayes, who's the quarterback of our team. Before my brother went to play football for Penn State, he and Brad played together. So I thought maybe he'd say hi to me, but Brad's a senior and I'm me, so who am I kidding?
Brad catches Charlie staring at him. Awkward. Interior of the shop class at day. Charlie sits by himself, watching the freshman boys laugh as a senior paints a goatee on his face with a grease pencil.
On the bright side, one senior decided to make fun of the teacher instead of the freshman. He even drew on Mr. Callahan's legendary goatee with a grease pencil.
And now we meet
Boys.
Patrick, 18, full of confidence, mischief, and so over high school. He is the class clown and performing a perfect imitation of the teacher, Mr. Callahan.
Boys, the prick punch is not a toy. Learned that in Nam back in 68. Callahan, the sergeant said, put down that prick punch and go kill some goops.
The laughter suddenly dies as the real Mr. Callahan, 57, walks up behind the oblivious Patrick.
But you know what happened? That prick punch killed my best friend in a Saigon whorehouse.
Patrick suddenly feels Mr. Callahan behind him. Whoops.
I heard you were going to be in my class. Are you proud being a senior taking a freshman class? Patty cakes?
My name is Patrick. You call me Patrick, call me nothing.
Okay, nothing.
The class laughs, except Charlie. He watches Patrick take the long walk back to his seat.
I felt really bad for Patrick. He wasn't saying the impersonation to be mean or anything. He was just trying to make us freshmen feel better.
Everyone open your safety guides. Nothing? Why don't you read first?
Patrick opens the book.
Chapter 1. Surviving your fascist shop teacher who needs to put kids down to feel big. Wow, this is useful, guys. We should read on.
Charlie smiles. He loves him already. We cut to the interior of English class in the morning. The kids pass back paperback copies of To Kill a Mockingbird. Charlie opens his Trapper Keeper, takes a pencil out of the plastic pouch, and writes English class, day 1.
My last class of the day is advanced English, and I'm excited to finally start learning with the smartest kids in school.
A smartass freshman girl with braces smiles at him.
Is that a Trapper Keeper or the Library of Congress?
What?
Oh, great save. I appreciate that. The kids around him laugh. Charlie's ears turn red. At the blackboard, the teacher writes his name, Mr. Anderson, but you can call him Bill, 27. Bill is an idealist.
I'm Mr. Anderson, and thanks to Teach for America, I'm going to be your teacher for freshman English. This semester, we're going to be learning Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. Genius book. Now, who wants to be the first? Who wants the first out of a pop quiz?
All of the hands go up, except for Charlie's. Bill paces the rows.
I'm shocked. All right, you can skip the quiz if you tell me which author invented the paperback book. Anyone?
As the kids think, Bill confiscates contraband, removes hats, etc.
He's British. He also invented the cereal. At the end of chapter 3 of his first novel, he had a man hanging off a cliff and by his fingernails. Hence the term cliffhanger. Anyone?
Like Shakespeare?
That's a great guess, but no, Shakespeare didn't write novels. Anybody else? Off their silence. The author was...
Bill is about to give the answer, and he notices Charlie has already written Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. However, if you and I had to gone to play in Shakespeare's time, we would have cost 4 pennies. Can you imagine that? We would have had to put those pennies in a metal box, which the ushers would have locked in the office. And that's where we get the term, anyone?
Office Depot.
Office supplies.
Charlie writes down box office silently, then looks up to find Bill is staring directly at him, waiting for his hand to raise.
I'll give you a free A on anything, but the final term paper if you get that right.
Charlie looks down. He's not going to answer.
Box office.
All of the kids groan. They should have known.
Aw.
Charlie smiles to himself. He's going to like this class. Interior of the English class later, the bell rings and students chatter their way out of the class. The last to leave is Charlie.
You should learn to participate.
Charlie stops and turns to find Bill erasing the board.
Why didn't you raise your hand?
Charlie shrugs.
They call you a teacher's pet, a freak.
Charlie nods.
I used to get spaz. I mean, come on, spaz?
Charlie smiles. Bill takes a moment and then...
So I heard you had a tough time last year. But they said if you make one friend on your first day, you're doing okay.
Thank you, sir. But if my English teacher is the only friend I make today, that would be sort of depressing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Don't worry, Mr. Anderson. I'm okay.
Bill nods and watches Charlie exit. He gets swallowed up by the hallway as the bell rings. In the interior of the high school hallway, Charlie looks through the thick office glass. He sees Patrick use his charms on Miss Small, 58, the principal.
I would happily not take shop.
Out of nowhere, the senior bully grabs Charlie's book.
Hey, freshman Toad.
The bully rips the cover and throws it to the ground as his friends laugh and disappear down the hallway. Charlie walks up and picks up his book.
Well, I have 1,384 days to go. And just so I say it to someone, high school is even worse than middle school.
We cut to the exterior of Charlie's house in the daytime. Charlie walks up the path to the house.
If my parents ask me about it, I probably won't tell them the truth because I don't want them to worry that I might get bad again.
We cut to the interior of Charlie's house in the afternoon. Charlie is taping his book cover back together. He looks up as his dad comes home from a long day. Charlie's mom hugs him.
If my Aunt Helen were still here, I could talk to her. And I know she would understand how I'm both happy and sad, and I'm still trying to figure out how that could be. I just hope I make a friend soon. Love always, Charlie.
The interior of the dining room in the early evening. Charlie stands in the kitchen pouring his milk.
Charlie, come on.
His family is seated around the table. Candace's boyfriend, Derek, is the special guest.
This chicken paprikash is delicious, Miss Kalmakis.
Charlie's father rolls his eyes while reading the sports page.
Thank you, Derek. It's Charlie's favorite. He was a little nervous about starting high school, so I made it.
Feel a little nervous about being, you feel a little silly about being nervous about your first day now, huh, champ?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
Charlie carries his milk back to the table. He quickly sits, hoping that somebody will change the subject.
I told you, just give him a smile and be yourself. That's how
Make friends in the real world.
you're cruising for a bruising.
Freshman year is really tough, but you really find yourself.
The father does a deep eye roll.
Thanks, Derek.
We cut to the interior of the living room and the entry hallway. Charlie's father and mother watch the local sports show. Charlie passes by them with ice cream on his way downstairs.
I think you could be a little nicer to Derek.
I'm sorry. The kid's a pussy. I can't stand him.
Charlie moves to the entry hallway. He looks through the screen door to the porch where Candace kisses Derek's cheek goodbye. As Derek walks to his mom's Mercedes, Candace joins Charlie.
Hope you love the mix I made. The cover's hand painted.
When he gets into the car, she hands Charlie the mixtape.
Charlie, do you want this?
Are you sure?
He gives me one every week.
We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom at dusk. Charlie sits on his bed reading To Kill a Mockingbird, the cover now taped back together. We see Derek's mix, Autumn Leaves, rotate on the old tape recorder.
Hey, babe, this next one might be a little sad, but it reminded me of your eyes.
The first notes of The Smiths' Asleep begins. As Morrissey sings, Charlie keeps reading and reading. We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom in the daytime. The reading is done. Charlie proudly puts To Kill a Mockingbird on his newly dubbed shelf of fame. We go to the interior of the high school hallway in the afternoon. The songs continue as we see glimpses of Charlie's day-to-day life over the next few weeks. Charlie exits his English class. Freshman bullies wait for him, led by the smartass freshman.
Did you already do the term paper on To Kill a Mockingbird? Or were you feeling too crappy?
There's silence. They grab and drag him into the boys' room. We hear the toilet flush for a swirly.
Still you, babe. Oh, are you frozen?
Oh, but look.
They
Look at
are.
their face.
Oh, no.
They would get like a non-derpy freeze. Look at that.
It's still not as good for me as Sam's, like, as she realized it was crapping out, the oh shit face.
Here, let me.
Nope.
Oh, I was gonna text.
No, hold on.
Oh,
No,
there we go.
They got it.
Nope, now you're
No.
quiet.
Back.
They're probably connecting to audio. Give them a
Mute
minute.
Nope.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Everything went all crazy there for a second. My bad, y'all. Okay, where did we leave off? What was the last thing y'all heard? Because I
Go
kept
to
fucking
Charlie's
going.
bedroom.
Charlie's bedroom at dusk?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, that was a while ago. All right. Interior Charlie's bedroom, dusk. Charlie looks at the new bottle of prescription Wellbutrin. He puts the pill in his mouth and washes it down with RC Cola, the sponsor of our show, y'all. In the
Hey.
interior of Charlie's living room, afternoon, Charlie watches his brother and the Penn State Lions on TV. He looks over at his father, but his dad's too busy building Charlie's clock for shop class to notice him. We cut to the interior of the high school cafeteria at lunch. Charlie's carrying his tray toward the intimidating cafeteria again, not giving up, looking for somewhere to sit. Then we cut to Charlie sitting by himself in the corner. He looks around the cafeteria, wanting to break in, not knowing how. After a moment, he just returns to his book, and the song ends. We go to the exterior of the high school at the football stadium. Friday night football in Western Pennsylvania. Charlie buys his Coke and nachos and wanders to the bleachers. He sits alone, trying to blend in by cheering with the rest of the students. When the Mill Grove Devils recover from a fumble, he hears,
Come on, Devils! Woo!
there it is. Charlie looks at Patrick, cheering his head off. Twin senior girls pass him, taunting.
Hey, nothing.
Okay, Virginia pledges.
That was perfect.
Suck it.
Charlie wants to go up to Patrick so badly. After driving himself crazy, sitting up and down twice, I'm assuming that's standing up and down twice, he approaches.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, you're my shop class, right? How's your clock coming?
My dad's building it.
Yeah, mine looks like a boat.
No, it doesn't.
So you want to sit over here, or are you waiting for your friends?
No, I'll sit if that's okay.
Patrick motions for Charlie to sit. Charlie sits, elated.
Thanks for not calling me nothing, by the way. It's an endless nightmare. And these assholes actually think they're being original.
Brad Hayes puts on his helmet and rushes onto the field. Charlie dries his hands on his pants, so nervous. A 5-second silence that feels like a year. Think of something. Anything.
So, you like football?
Love it. Love football.
Then maybe you know my brother.
Hey, Sam.
Charlie looks up. Standing there is the prettiest girl he's ever seen. Sam, 17, would make every mother proud and every father nervous. She is alive, adventurous, and a world-class flirt. Great attitude, great taste, hilarious banter.
Question. Could the bathrooms here be more disgusting?
Yes, they call it the men's room.
Sam sits down, sandwiching Charlie between her and Patrick. Charlie tries to remain casual. Hang in there, buddy.
Well, I finally got a hold of Bob.
Party tonight?
No, he's still trying to shag that waitress from Olive Garden.
He is never tossing that salad.
Brad Hayes marches the Devils' offense down the field. The kids clap. Sam looks at Charlie, then back to Patrick.
Patrick, who is this?
This is...
Charlie, Kalmekis.
Kalmekis? No shit. Your sister dates Ponytail Derek, doesn't she?
Is that what they call him?
Oh, leave Ponytail Derek alone. You put the ass in class, Patrick.
I try, Sam, I try.
Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm Sam.
Sam extends her hand to Charlie, every nail a different color. They shake. Then Sam grabs a nacho.
So, what's the plan, Sam? You want to go to Mary Elizabeth's house?
Aunt, she just got caught watering down her parents' brandy with iced tea. Let's just go to King's.
Hey, we're going to
Patrick
King's
turns
after
to
the
Charlie.
game. Hey, we're going to King's after the game if you want to come.
Charlie nods just as Brad Hayes tosses a touchdown pass. The fans go crazy, especially Patrick, and Charlie smiles. We cut to the interior of the King's family restaurant at night. The Devil's faithful cheer as Brad Hayes and his guys enter. The place is packed. Patrick and Sam drink coffee while Charlie eats his brownie. They are all excited.
Do you have a favorite band?
I think the Smiths are my favorite.
Are you kidding? I love the Smiths, the best breakup band ever. What's your favorite song?
Asleep. It's from Louder Than Bombs. I heard it on Ponytail Derek's mixtape.
That works on many levels.
I could make a copy for you.
Thanks. What about Edie's? You love Edie's, right?
Yeah,
Charlie's never heard of
they're
it.
Great.
Not a band, Charlie.
It's an old record store downtown. Things sound so much better on vinyl.
I used to be popular before Sam got me some good music. So watch out, Charlie. She'll ruin your life forever.
That's okay.
Brad Hayes, the quarterback, passes with his posse, taunting.
Hey, nothing.
Hey, nothing.
Let it go. Jesus. It's an antique joke. It's over.
Sam laughs. She loves watching Patrick get riled up.
So, Charlie, what are you going to do when you get out of this place?
My Aunt Helen said I should be a writer, but I don't know what I'd write about.
You could write about us.
Yeah. Call it the slut and the falcon. Make us solve crimes.
Sam laughs. Charlie smiles.
You guys look happy together. How long have you been boyfriend and girlfriend?
They laugh.
What?
He's my stepbrother. My mom finally left my worthless dad and married his nice dad 3 years ago.
But Sam's not bitter. Make no mistake.
Absolutely. I'm not a bulimic. I'm a bulimist.
They laugh at their inside joke. Charlie has no idea what is so funny.
I'm sorry. I don't know what that means.
She just really believes in bulimia.
I love
We cut
bulimia.
We cut to the exterior of Charlie's house, night. Charlie hops out of Sam's old truck. The music is blaring.
Thanks for playing, Charlie.
No problem. Thanks for the ride. Hey, maybe I'll see you guys around in school.
God, would you turn that down? You're going to make us deaf. Bye, Charlie.
So be it. It's rock and roll. Bye, Charlie.
Okay, bye.
Charlie waves as the truck leaves. The look on his face, the happiness from the one night of company. We enter Charlie's house at night. As he enters the house, excited to tell someone his news, he runs up the stairs to find the living room empty. He hears the TV playing downstairs in the basement. We cut to the doorway of the basement. As Charlie approaches, he hears muffled sounds of fighting.
I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. Please talk to me.
Maybe your mom and I should have a drive us to our hair appointment contest then. And maybe I could spend a Saturday with you.
Charlie looks through the slit in the open door to find.
There's nothing I can do.
Do you always want to be a mama's boy?
I'm not a mom's boy.
Yes, you are. Every time I try to go to your house.
Shut up.
Your mom says, don't go to Columbia with Candace. Go to Pitt, Derek. Mommy needs you to stay at home because she can't drive herself. She's only 51.
Shut up, Candace.
In the interior of the basement, we get a continuous shot as Charlie enters, wanting to stop the fight. Derek's neck is red, dangerously angry. Candace keeps digging.
And you just stand there like a little bitch dog.
Snap! Out of nowhere, Derek slaps her across the face. It is not a movie slap. It is a real ass slap. Dead sound. And after it, silence. Candace turns to see Charlie and sobers her up. Charlie moves to Derek and Candace stops him.
Charlie, just go. I can handle it. Just don't wake up mom and dad.
She pushes him out of the room and closes the door. We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom at night. Charlie sits at his desk, so disturbed. He hears a car start outside. He moves to his window and looks down at Derek and Candace near Derek's mother's Mercedes. Derek is crying. Candace comforts him, and after a beat, they kiss. Charlie stands frozen, a look creeping across his face.
Hey, look who's here.
It's a flashback. The interior of the hallway at night. Door opens to reveal Charlie's mom and Aunt Helen entering the house. Aunt Helen carries a suitcase. The children don't know where she's been or why she looks so sad. They just know that they love her. Little Charlie stands at the top of the stairs with his brother and sister in their Sunday clothes. There are balloons and streamers.
Welcome home, Aunt Helen.
Oh, look at you. Look at you all dressed so nice.
Aunt Helen smiles at little Charlie at the top of the stairs. We match the cut to the interior of the hallway at night. We are now present. Charlie stands at the top of the stairs as Candace enters the house, and she is startled when she sees Charlie. They whisper.
What are you doing?
Look, I egged him on. You saw it. He's never hit me before, and I promise he'll never hit me again.
She's about to go back downstairs when
Like Aunt Helen's boyfriends?
the silence passes between them.
Charlie, this is Ponytail Derek. I can handle him. Will you just trust me, please? Don't tell Mom and Dad.
With a desperately confident nod, Candace just goes downstairs. Charlie stands in the entry hall, troubled. We cut to the interior of the gymnasium at night. The homecoming dance is in full swing. God bless everyone, except Charlie, who is alone at the wall dressed in his Sunday suit. To us, adorable, to himself, in a living hell. Charlie watches his sister, slow dancing with Derek. As happy as she looks, Charlie still isn't sure if he did the right thing by keeping quiet. The song ends to applause. After a beat, Charlie turns away. That's when he sees Sam and Patrick at the punch bowl. We hear the first notes of Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Oh my God, they're actually playing good music.
Holy shit, they are. They're playing good music.
Living room routine.
Living room routine.
Charlie watches Sam and Patrick run to the center of the floor and show the stiff crowd what dancing really is. It starts slow, so over it, hand movements, a little bit of shoulder, and then the best of swing, 30 seconds of genius. Charlie takes a deep breath. Then he tries desperately not to look like he's dancing towards them as he clearly dances towards them. He bobs his head like a dork, and once he gets close enough, Patrick and Sam turn and find him.
Hey!
Without a pause, they grab his hands and move together in a circle, their own island. After a moment, Sam moves around Charlie like a maypole with the whole gym, while the whole gym explodes into dance. We cut to the exterior of Bob's house at night. The party rages inside of the mansion in the rich part of town. Patrick and Sam walk up the steps with Charlie tailing behind.
God, it's freezing.
Oh, you wore that toasty costume. It's like you're not trying too hard to be original.
Piss off Tennessee tuxedo.
Are you sure it's okay that I come?
Of course. Just remember, Charlie, Bob's not paranoid.
He's sensitive.
Sam knocks, the door opens, revealing Bob, 20. Bob was the cool kid in high school who never quite left. He's stoned so often that people can't really tell the difference anymore.
The waitress from Olive Garden's a tease. Will you marry me?
Only if I have Patrick's blessing.
Patrick.
You're a hopeless stoner who attends the Culinary Institute. So I'm going to have to say no on that one. But nice try. Charlie?
Patrick leads Charlie inside, leaving Bob staring at Sam.
Touché.
In the interior of the house, moments later.
Charlie, this is a party.
The music blasts. Charlie's eyes are our guide. As they walk through the crowd, you can smell it. Stale beer and cigarette smoke. High school parties. The room is packed with kids playing quarters and others pouring vodka into a watermelon.
This is what fun looks like.
Patrick smiles when he spots two friends.
You ready to meet some desperate women?
We cut to Mary Elizabeth and Alice, both 17, who are sitting on the sofa together. Mary Elizabeth is a smart, a little overweight, and extremely bossy. Alice will figure out that she's a lesbian in college, but right now she likes movies and is Mary Elizabeth's beta female.
Here, have a seat. Hey, ladies, meet Charlie. Charlie, meet ladies.
They shake hands and say their hellos.
This is Charlie's first ever party. So I expect nice, meaning heartfelt blowjobs from both of you.
Patrick, you're such a dick.
Where the hell did you go?
The dance was a little boring, don't you think?
You're so selfish. We looked everywhere for you. You could have told someone.
Cry me a river.
How is it that you got meaner since
Being a
script was
Buddhist?
cut off?
Just lucky, I guess.
I think you're doing something wrong.
Or something very right.
Patrick and Mary Elizabeth laugh at their banter just as Sam calls out from the other side of the room.
Hey, look who's here.
The party turns, and Charlie sees Brad Hayes, the quarterback, enter with Sam and Bob. Patrick approaches them. Charlie sits on the beat-up couch next to the girls. He's shocked.
Is that Brad Hayes?
Yeah. He comes here sometimes.
But he's a popular kid.
Then what are we?
Charlie tries to think of something, but can't. The girls turn, ignoring him, and Bob approaches with a tray.
Oh no, you're muted.
No,
Do
not
exactly
me.
that again.
Charlie, you look like you could use a brownie.
Thank you. I was so hungry at the dance. I was going to go to King's, but I didn't really have any time. Thank you.
Bob smiles. Mary Elizabeth gives Alice a knowing glance. Charlie bites into the brownie, the icing gushing between his teeth. The image goes up in smoke like an inhale as he chews and chews and chews. We cut to the interior of Bob's basement later, and after a beat, the music changes, and the image exhales back down on Charlie, who is now baked out of his mind. The whole party surrounds him now, pissing themselves with laughter as the shy kid talks and talks and talks.
Have you guys felt this carpet? This carpet feels so darn good.
Charlie, what do you think about high school?
High school? Bullshit. The cafeteria is called the Nutrition Center, and people wear their letter jackets even when it's 98 degrees out. And why do they give out letters for marching band? That's not a sport, and we all know it.
You've clearly never been to a marching band practice in the summer, but
Agreed.
we'll allow it. This kid is crazy.
Charlie looks at Mary Elizabeth, who's a little butthurt about that comment, apparently, with a haircut.
Listen, I'll co-sign that comment.
And Mary Elizabeth, I think you're really going to regret that whenever you look back at old photographs. I'm
Everyone
really
laughs.
sorry. That sounded like a compliment in my head.
Oh my God.
It's kind of true.
Shut up.
Sam enters the room, takes quick stock, and then...
Bob, did you get him stoned?
Come on, Sammy likes it. Just look at him.
How do you feel, Charlie?
I just really want a milkshake.
The entire room explodes with laughter. Charlie loves that people find him funny. We cut to the interior of Bob's kitchen, and Sam takes the ice cream from the freezer to the blender. Charlie watches her make the perfect vanilla milkshake.
Sam, you have such pretty brown eyes. The kind of pretty that deserves to make a big deal about itself. You know what I mean?
Hey, Charlie, let me make the milkshake.
What a great word. Milkshake. It's like when you say your name over and over and over again in the mirror. After a while, it kind of sounds crazy.
I'm guessing you've never been high before.
Me? No. My best friend Michael, his dad was a big drinker, so he hated all that stuff. Parties too.
Well, where's Michael tonight?
Oh, he shot himself last May.
Sam looks up, shocked but silent. Charlie's just stoned.
Kind of wish he left a note. Know what I mean? Where's the bathroom?
It's up the stairs.
Thank you, Sam. You're so nice.
Charlie wanders off and Sam watches him go. We cut to the interior of a hallway. Charlie leaves the bathroom and stops when he sees himself in a large ornate mirror in the hallway.
Charlie. Weird.
Charlie wanders down the hallway, a little bit lost, and finds the door to the master bedroom and opens it. He sees Patrick and Brad Hayes kissing.
Whoa.
Charlie,
Who is that kid?
relax. Relax. He's a friend of mine. Stay here.
Patrick closes the bedroom door and follows Charlie.
I didn't see anything.
I know you saw something, but it's okay.
Patrick takes a quick peek to make sure no one is watching.
Listen, Brad doesn't want anyone to know. Hey, are you baked?
Like a cake. That's what Bob said. And how you can't have 3 on a match because they would find us. And everyone laughed, but I don't know what's funny.
Okay, Charlie, listen. I need you to promise that you're not going to say anything to anyone about me and Brad. This has to be our little secret.
Our little secret. Agreed.
We'll talk later.
I look forward to that big talk.
Patrick laughs and goes back to the room, closing the door. We cut to the interior of the basement again. The party has thinned, but Sam watches Charlie drink his milkshake obsessively with Alice and Mary Elizabeth on either side.
Isn't this the best milkshake, Alice? It's even better than the first one.
Patrick walks downstairs and Sam motions him over.
To talk to you. Charlie just told me that his best friend shot himself. I don't think he has any friends.
Patrick turns to look at Charlie. He feels so bad for the kid. Patrick raises his plastic cup and to the remaining crowd.
Everyone, raise your glasses to Charlie.
Charlie looks up, a little bit paranoid. Everyone is staring.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. We just want to toast to our new friend. You see things. You understand. You're a wallflower.
Charlie dries his sweaty hands on his pants. He looks around the room and everyone nods. There are friendly faces everywhere.
What is it? What's wrong?
I didn't think people noticed me.
Well, we didn't think there were any cool people left to meet. So everyone, to Charlie.
To Charlie.
They all drink and Sam approaches him with a knowing smile.
Welcome to the land of misfit toys.
Charlie smiles and the soundtrack comes rushing up loud. We smash cut to the interior and the exterior of Sam's truck at night. The truck speeds on the highway 376 towards the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Patrick is driving. Sam cranks the radio, blaring the tunnel song. The Stars' anthem, Your Ex-Lover is Dead, is our prototype for that tone.
My God. What is this song?
I have no idea.
Have you heard it before?
Never.
Wait. Let's go to the tunnel.
And freezing.
Patrick, it's the perfect song.
No. Mama Patrick says no.
Patrick. It's Sam. It's Sam. I'm talking to you. I'm begging you. Drive me.
All right. I concede.
Sam climbs through the window to the flatbed. She grips the floodlights and steadies herself as she stands.
What is she doing?
Don't worry. She does this all the time.
Turn it up.
You got it, Your Highness.
Patrick turns up the volume and drums on the steering wheel just as the truck flies into the tunnel. We go behind the truck, rising as Sam puts her arms in the air. The image moves to Charlie's point of view, rising from Sam's feet up her shivering legs, past the Band-Aid on her right knee, to Sam's face as she looks down into the camera right at us. For we are as now. Charlie looking up at Sam, so in love with the free spirit, so happy to have friends, happy to be alive. Charlie gets this look on his face. Patrick notices and smiles.
What?
I feel infinite.
The truck flies out of the Fort Pitt tunnel onto the bridge. Patrick and Charlie laugh as Sam raises her arms, free and young and alive in the greatest night of Charlie's life. We cut to Charlie's bedroom in the afternoon. We see Charlie proudly put on the Smiths poster on his wall next to the photos of his new friends. He dances to his desk, listening to Air Supply's All Out of Love on his Walkman.
Dear friend, I'm sorry that I haven't written for a while, but I've been trying really hard not to be a loser.
As the lyrics begin, Charlie unabashedly lip syncs. To Air Supply. I'm all out of love. I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you till it hurts. Charlie sits at his desk, writing and still lip syncing.
For example, I'm trying to participate by listening to Sam's collection of big rock ballads and thinking about love. Sam says they are kitschy and brilliant. I completely agree.
We cut to the interior of Bill's classroom in the morning. As students file out, Charlie hands his paper to Bill in exchange for a beat up copy of The Great Gatsby.
I'm also studying extra books outside of class. As it turns out, Mr. Anderson is a writer. He even had a play put up in New York once, which I think is very impressive. He and his wife might go back there after this year. I know this is selfish, but I really hope he doesn't.
Charlie pauses in the doorway and turns back to look at Bill. We cut to the interior of the cafeteria at lunchtime. Charlie turns from the lunch line with the Great Gatsby on his tray. He looks at the gang at their table. He sits with them as they debate the design of this month's fanzine.
My favorite time, though, is lunch because I get to see Sam and Patrick. We spend the time working on Mary Elizabeth's fanzine about music and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's called Punk Rocky. Mary Elizabeth is really interesting because she's a Buddhist and a punk, but somehow always acts like my father at the end of a long day.
We cut to the interior of the library in the afternoon. The Xerox spits out copies of Punky Rock, Halloween issue. Alice staples while Mary Elizabeth works her like a sled dog.
Her best friend Alice loves vampires and wants to go to film school. She also steals jeans from the mall. I don't know why, because her family is rich, but I'm trying not to be judgmental, especially since I know how they were all there for Patrick last year. Patrick never likes to be serious, so it took me a while to get what happened.
Sam and Alice laugh when Patrick begins stapling Mary Ellis's fanzines into to within an inch of their life. Note, the following sequence will come from Charlie's point of view with Patrick and Brad's activities over the weekend. So we cut to the exterior of the football stadium at night. Brad Hayes leads the football team through the banner onto the field as Charlie, Patrick, and Sam cheer. Moments later, Brad pulls his helmet on and rushes onto the field.
When he was a junior, Patrick started seeing Brad on the weekends in secret. I guess it was hard too because Brad had to get drunk every time they fooled around.
We cut to the interior of the cafeteria. Patrick whispers while the gang studies their SAT books.
Then by Monday at school, Brad would say, "Man, I was so wasted, I don't remember a thing." And this went on for 7 months.
We cut to the interior of St. Thomas More Catholic Church. Charlie is sitting with his family in itchy church clothes. He turns to see Brad with his father and mother. Proper family. Brad's dad gives him a pat on the back.
When they finally did it, Brad said that he loved Patrick. And then he started to cry, saying his dad that would kill him and saying he was going to hell.
We cut to the interior of the library. We see Patrick and Brad walking in the library. They reach the stacks. Just when it looks like they'll speak, they simply pass each other without a word.
Patrick was eventually able to help Brad get sober. I asked Patrick if he felt sad that he had to keep it a secret, and he said no, because at least now Brad doesn't have to get drunk to love him.
Brad sits down with his football pals. Patrick joins Charlie and Sam at their table. Charlie looks over at Sam, studying hard for her SATs.
I think that I understand because I really like Sam. I asked my sister about her, and she said that when Sam was a freshman, the upperclassmen used to get her drunk at parties. I guess she had a reputation, but I don't care. I'd hate for her to judge me based on what I used to be like.
We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom at dusk. We see Charlie making a mixtape on his boombox.
So I've been making her a mixtape so she'll know how I feel.
The two cassettes run. The song is just about to finish when the side runs out of tape and snaps off.
Shit.
We cut to the exterior of Dormont Hollywood Movie Theater at midnight. The marquee announces that it's time for Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Rocky MC, dressed as Riff Raff, whips the crowd into a frenzy.
Give me an R.
R.
Give me an O.
Oh.
Yeah, C.
C.
Give me a K.
K.
Give me a Y.
Y.
Does that spell?
Rocky. Rocky.
The crowd continues to cheer and Charlie claps from the front row. We cut to the interior of the hallway movie theater later. The movie is in full swing. Charlie watches as Sam plays Janet in the floor show. Sam mimics Susan Sarandon perfectly, especially the body. She winks at Charlie as fanfare Don't Dream It begins. And arriving regally as Frankenfurter in full drag is, of course, Patrick.
Whatever happened to Fay Ray? That delicate satin draped frame, as it clung to her thigh, I started to cry because I wanted to be dressed just the same.
Patrick is a rock star. He approaches Charlie, putting his ass in Charlie's face. Charlie's freaked out, but laughs, especially when he sees Brad alone in the back, smiling.
Give yourself over to absolute pleasure. Swim the warm waters of sins of the flesh, erotic nightmares beyond any measure, sensual daydreams to treasure forever. Can't you just see it? Whoa.
We realize that Patrick's singing leaves a lot to be desired as Charlie stops laughing when the action begins between Patrick, Mary Elizabeth as Columbia, and Craig, 21, an art student with a model's body as Rocky, and of course, Sam. Charlie watches Sam until he can't take his lust or guilt. We cut to the interior of Craig's loft apartment in his kitchen. We hear the chorus of Don't Dream It, Be It as Charlie watches all of the exciting cast members at the after show party. Charlie sees a photo of Sam's naked back on the wall of Craig's loft. Very artsy, very black and white. Charlie's lust and guilt are now at 11. Alice looks at the photo.
It's gorgeous, Craig. What did you use?
Craig is impressive to high school students.
That's
He's
disturbing.
a little pretentious. Look, it's a thing. But his art school life. His red wine, his loft. Wow. Right now, he holds the court of the wine line.
Color film, but black and white for the printing. My professor gave me an A, but for the wrong reasons. Most of them are idiots. You'll see what I mean when you get to college. How were your SATs, by the way?
1150. I think I'll get into NYU.
Yeah, I hope so.
Listen here, Matt Gates.
1490 Harvard.
Moments later, Charlie sees Sam alone on the loft steps. She looks a little bit down. He hands Sam a plastic cup and sits down next to her.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I got my SAT results back. Oops.
You can take them again.
Yeah, it's just if I'm going to Penn State's main campus, I have to do so much better. I wish I would have studied freshman year. I was a bit of a mess.
I'll help you study for the next one.
Will you?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Charlie.
Charlie summons his courage. He hands her the mixtape.
What's this?
Just a mixtape. No big deal. My parents have a pretty good stereo. It's all about that night in the tunnel. I couldn't find that song we were listening to, but I'm still searching for it. So
It's okay. These are great. You have really good taste, Charlie.
really?
Yeah, way better than me as a freshman. I used to listen to the worst top 40.
No.
Yeah, I did, but then I heard this old song, Pearly Dewdrops Drop, and I thought someday I would be at a party in college or something, and I'd look up and see this person across the room, and from that moment, I know everything was going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We cut to the interior of Craig's loft apartment later. The tape revolves in the stereo, playing a beautiful ballad. Charlie watches Sam sway to his music like a serenade, like she's dancing with him, but she isn't. A wider angle reveals that she is slow dancing with Craig. Charlie is 15 years old and crushed. No filter, just feeling. Patrick, Alice, and Mary Elizabeth watch Sam from across the room.
So what do you think?
I don't know.
I hope it works out. Craig would be a big step up from her last boyfriend.
Well, no shit. Who could forget Mr. Car Wash Loser?
I just hope she stops playing dumb with these guys. I keep telling her, don't make yourself small. You can't save anybody.
Craig dips a smiling Sam as the song ends. Sam goes into the kitchen and Craig approaches Charlie and turns off the mixtape.
Man, your mix is morbidly sad, kid. How about something a little bit more upbeat?
Craig grabs a record from the pile and slaps it down.
Sam tells me you want to be a writer.
Yeah.
Don't you write poetry, Craig?
No, poetry writes me, you know?
Charlie sighs. Craig's upbeat song begins to play. He dances over to Sam. Charlie's heart breaks as he watches Sam hug on Craig. We cut to the interior of the high school hallway. It's a mirror image. In a mirror image, Candace hugs on Derek near the lockers. Charlie closes his own locker and moves down the hall. As he gets to English class, the bell rings. Charlie sets down his on the road paper.
Wow, that was fast. You want another one?
Charlie nods. Bill smiles and reaches into his desk. He hands Charlie a copy of A Separate Piece. Charlie takes the book and starts walking out, but he turns back.
Mr. Anderson, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why do nice people choose the wrong people to date?
Are we talking about anybody specific?
Charlie nods. Bill looks straight at him, not preaching, coming from a history of personal experience and pain.
We accept the love we think we deserve.
Can we make them know that they deserve more?
We can try.
Charlie smiles. In the interior of King's Family Restaurant, we see Charlie nervously waiting at a booth. He sees Sam enter, and he fixes his hair, then pretends to read his SAT prep book.
Hey, Charlie.
Oh, hey, Sam. I didn't see you come in. You want to work on probabilities and statistics?
Sam nods. They open their books and a Christmas song begins. In a quick passage of time, we see them study next to the Halloween decorations, and then Thanksgiving, and then finally Christmas decorations. We cut to the interior of Charlie's house. The song continues. Charlie's mom and sister hang the Christmas ornaments as Charlie helps his dad find that one.
Hey, Dad, can I have $30?
$20? What do you want $10 for?
Sam's doing Secret Santa. It's her favorite thing in the whole world. Please.
Charlie's father reaches into his pocket and hands Charlie a bill. It's a 50. Dad winks, apparently in a good mood.
Have fun.
Thanks.
We cut to the interior of the high school at the day. The lockers are opened by Charlie, Sam, Patrick. Wrapped gifts are deposited with mischievous smiles. The lockers are then closed. Everyone loves getting their presents, except Charlie, who got socks? Interior of Bill's classroom, we see Bill hand Charlie a well-worn copy of The Catcher in the Rye. He smiles.
Charlie, this was my favorite book growing up. This is my copy, but I want you to have it.
Thanks.
Have a great Christmas break.
You too, Mr. Anderson.
We cut to the interior of shop class. Mr. Callahan, the shop teacher, looks at the sad sack girl's clock. He takes a moment and then...
Terrible stain.
That was on my period, man.
He moves to Charlie's dad's amazing clock and hands Charlie an A on a piece of paper.
That's pretty good, Charlie.
Mr. Callahan moves to Patrick's shitty wooden clock. No stain, no finished, lopsided. The ugliest clock you've ever seen in your life.
You've got to be kidding me.
You fail me, you get me next semester.
Mr. Callahan writes a grade and slaps it down. We cut to the exterior of West End Overlook. A song continues as Patrick holds up the grade, a C-. Charlie and Sam cheer as Patrick screams at the top of his lungs.
Woo! C minus. It's over. It's over. Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, I am below average.
Below average.
Yay!
Patrick screams at the city in the distance. In the interior of the Hollywood movie theater, in the green room, we find Sam holding her SAT score up to the group.
Hey guys, 12-10.
Yay!
Everyone cheers. Sam hugs Charlie. We cut to the interior of Sam and Patrick's house in the game room at night. Charlie carries Sam on his shoulders past the Christmas tree, and Sam wears a Santa Santa hat like a hot elf.
No more applications, no more SATs. Thank you, Charlie.
They pass Mary Elizabeth as she opens her final present.
Multiple pairs of blue jeans. Wow. This is a really tough one, but I'm gonna have to guess Alice.
Alice smiles and Bob nudges her, guilty as charged. Mary Elizabeth then pulls one last item out of the gift bag.
Wait, guys, wait. A receipt. She actually paid.
Impossible.
I'm so touched.
Alice laughs, and Patrick pours everyone a brandy. The kids look ridiculous, but they don't feel ridiculous.
Where's Craig?
He went home to Connecticut. He'll be back for New Year's Eve.
Well, I'm sorry we won't be seeing him tonight.
Sam nods and then turns. Charlie is delighted, no Craig. The kids settle into the living room in front of the fire.
All right, big brother by 3 weeks. Who's your secret Santa?
I tell you, Sam, this is a tough one. I have received a harmonica, a magnetic poetry set, a book about Harvey Milk, and a mixtape with the song Asleep on it twice.
Charlie starts snickering. He can't help himself.
I mean, I have no idea. This collection of presents is so gay that I think I must have given them to myself. But despite that distinct possibility, I'm going to have to go with, drumroll, Charlie.
Charlie holds up his hands. Yay, they all cheer.
All right, Charlie, it's your turn.
Charlie and Patrick switch places, and Charlie stands.
Okay. I have received socks, pants, a shirt, and a belt. I was ordered to wear them all tonight. So I'm guessing my secret Santa is Mary Elizabeth.
Now, why do you say that?
I don't know. She bosses people around sometimes.
The gang cracks up. Mary Elizabeth is pissed.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Sorry.
Well, you'll be surprised to know that your secret Santa is actually me.
You got me close? Why?
Because all the great writers used to wear great suits. Your last present is on a towel rack in the bathroom. Delve into our facilities and emerge a star.
Charlie gives Sam a sack of presents.
Can you hand these out while I'm gone?
Wait a second. There's only one secret Santa present. These are rules, Charlie.
Mary Elizabeth, why are you trying to eat Christmas? Hand them out, Sam.
Because I'm hungry, bitch.
Sam gives out the presents as the group rips them open. Sam looks at hers, an old 45 record of the Beatles classic Something with a card. She reads the card as Alex looks at a book about Martin Scorsese with the inscription.
Alice, I know you'll get into NYU. Enjoy the surprise nut cake.
Alice turns to Mary Elizabeth, who holds up a card with
$40 to print Punk Rocky in color next time. Nice.
Bob blows soap bubbles into the air, stoned and mesmerized.
Knows me, he really does.
Sam looks at her present, an old 45 record with the Beatles classic Something written on it, and reads the card, holds it to her chest, very moved.
Come on out, Charlie.
They all chime in. Things like, let's go, young man. Charlie
Charlie,
opens the door.
Charlie.
And off camera, and we see as his entrance plays off. We see as his entrance plays off of their faces. The reverse angle reveals Charlie dressed in his suit, like the best of the English mods of the '60s. For those of you who know the book, this is the cover. They all clap. It's magical.
Yeah, what a display of man I have ever seen.
Sam and Charlie look at each other and smile. We cut to the interior of Sam's bedroom later. The door opens and Sam and Charlie walk into the dark room.
Where are we going?
It's a surprise.
Sam flips the switch, bathing the room in light. Sam's room is so cool. A shrine to music, a Xerox that says the beatings will continue until morale improves, the Virgin Mary icons, snow globes, total kitsch.
Is this your room? It's so cool.
Thanks.
Sam points to a green box with a red ribbon on her desk.
You got me a present?
With all that help on my Penn State application, of course I did. Open it.
Charlie lifts up the box to reveal an old manual typewriter.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything.
Sam goes over and types, "Write about us sometime." He smiles and types back, "I will." They look at each other. We hear the lovely ballad playing downstairs.
Sorry we can't be here for your birthday.
That's okay. I'm just sorry you have to go back and visit your dad.
I'm in such a good mood. I don't think even he could ruin it. I feel like I'm finally doing good.
You are.
Me? What about you? When I met you, you were this scared freshman. Look at you in that suit. You're like a sexy English schoolboy. I saw Mary Elizabeth checking you out.
Yeah, it
No.
was.
And this worst kind of guys never see you coming, and parents love you. That's like extra danger.
Well, it hasn't worked so far.
You've never had a girlfriend, not even like a second grade Valentine.
He shakes his head.
Have you ever kissed a girl?
No. What about you?
I ever kissed a girl?
No, your first kiss.
Sam gets this strange look in her eye, a little haunted.
My first kiss? I was 11. His name was Robert. He used to come over to the house all the time.
Was he your first boyfriend?
He was my dad's boss.
Just when Sam might have gone to a dark place, she smiles instead.
You know, Charlie, I used to sleep with guys who treated me like shit and get like wasted all the time, but now I feel like I have a chance. I could even get into a real college.
It's true. You can do it.
How do you know?
My aunt, she had that same thing done to her too, and she turned her life around.
She must have been great.
She was my favorite person in the whole world until now.
Sam smiles. She's very moved.
Charlie, I know you know that I like Craig, but I want to forget that for just a minute, okay? I want to make sure that the first person who kisses you loves you. Okay?
Charlie nods, and with that, Sam leans over and kisses him. It starts softly, but then Sam wraps her thin arms around him, holding on for lonely life. When the song crescendos and they part, Charlie and Sam look at each other. Finally.
I love you, Charlie.
I love you too.
We cut to the exterior of Sam and Patrick's house at night. The porch lights are golden as Charlie feels right now. We see the girls wave at each other and hug Sam.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Bye, buddy. Hope
Patrick
you find your
approaches
dad.
Charlie in the doorway.
Have a good time at your mom's.
Thanks. And Charlie, since you were born on Christmas Eve, I figure you don't get a lot of birthday presents. So I thought you should have my clock from the heart.
Thank you, Patrick.
Sam gives Charlie one last hug. Patrick and Sam watch their friends leave.
I love you guys.
We cut to the exterior of downtown Pittsburgh at night. We fly as high as Charlie feels. Above the city on Christmas Eve. Back to the interior of Charlie's house, the front door opens, revealing Charlie's dad.
Hey, look who's here.
He moves out of the way, and standing there is Charlie's older brother, Chris, 19. Chris is handsome, charismatic, and an all-around winner.
Come here, little sister.
Hey, Chris.
They get a big hug. Chris smiles big and sun flirts with his mom.
Ah, you look so thin.
10 pounds, Weight Watchers.
Big kiss. When he lets go, he sees Charlie and smiles.
Charlie.
Chris and Charlie look at each other in silence and then hug. As the family moves into the dining room to celebrate, Chris gives him a quiet
Happy birthday.
We cut to the interior of the dining room moments later.
Make a wish, honey.
We move closer to Charlie as he makes his wish and blows out his 16 candles. We match that cut to the exterior of Charlie's street at night. The wind blows out a candle in one of the luminaria bags. The suburb is quiet. Not a creature is stirring, except Charlie. He fills a brown paper bag with sand and a candle. He lights the candle, making the bag glow like a beautiful lantern. He looks down the street where families are out with their kids doing the same luminaria ritual. We go back to Charlie's street at night. It's the same street, Christmas Eve, many years ago. Helen and the kids finish their luminaria bags, and Aunt Helen lights up the candles. They glow.
Can you see it, Charlie? The luminaria is the landing strip for Santa Claus.
The image goes wide, and all of the bags are glowing. Beautiful. Aunt Helen rattles her keys and whispers,
Keep an eye out for him with your brother and sister. I'll be right back.
She bends down and whispers into his ear.
Get your birthday present. This is in no way creepy at all.
She musses his hair and gets in the car. The flashback ends. We cut to the exterior of Charlie's street at night while Charlie hovers over the glowing luminaria.
Hovers.
I know. Something is bothering him, but he shakes it off. Back to the interior of Charlie's house in the kitchen and dining room. Charlie wanders through the quiet house. He turns to the corner where he finds Chris sitting at the table. He's lit by a couple of candles and blinking lights of the Christmas tree. He's surrounded by leftovers, and Charlie sits.
Hey.
Chris chews and swallows, famished. They both whisper.
Oh no! Ponytail mute again.
Not ponytail mute. Oh, God, I miss Mom's cooking. You have no idea how good you have it. I'm actually beginning to hate pizza.
Charlie smiles and grabs a Hershey Kiss cookie.
Like peanut blossoms? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
How are you liking school?
Not bad. I'm no brainiac like you or Candace, but I'm doing okay.
Okay. You're playing in a bowl game.
Chris laughs and Charlie smiles. A moment passes and Chris changes his tone, a little cautious.
How are you feeling, Charlie?
Good.
You know what I mean? Is it bad tonight?
No.
No?
I'm not lying. I promise. I've been doing good all year. I'm not picturing things anymore, and when I do, I can just shut it off. I'm not thinking too fast at all.
Chris is
Mom?
relieved.
Mom told me you have good friends now, and maybe if it does get bad again, you can talk to them, yeah?
Yeah, especially Sam. I'm going to ask her out at New Year's. I think the time is right now.
Their mom enters.
I took my earbud out, damn it. What are you two talking about?
We're talking about how great our mother looks.
10 pounds on Weight Watchers.
I know, we're proud, Ma.
She sits with them and takes a carrot, and the three settle into a night of snacking. In the interior of Charlie's house in the morning, it's Christmas morning. Charlie looks at his dad open a gift, a used VHS tape of the 1991 Stanley Cup champion Penguins.
You like it, Dad?
His father nods. Chris smiles at his kid brother. We hear a church organ and cut to the interior of St. Thomas More Church. The family moves down the line to receive Holy Communion at Christmas Mass. Charlie is next. Oh, nope. Charlie's father and then mother and then sister take the sacrament. Charlie is next, and our narrator apparently can't read or talk. The priest makes the motion of the cross with the communion wafer. He places it in Charlie's hand. Charlie brings the sacrament to his mouth with his fingers, as opposed to his elbow.
It used to
Match
go on
cut
the
to interior of Bob's living room at night. We moved in closer to Charlie's fingers in his mouth. When he takes his hand out, we see a tab of LSD. The church organ is now a rock organ, and it's now New Year's Eve. Charlie closes his mouth, and he looks down the hall in the smoky room where Craig has his arm around Sam.
I was at home for 3 weeks, and my dad's girlfriend was so crazy. It made me realize what a great girl Sam was. She always listens. She's always cool. I just couldn't ask for a better girlfriend.
Charlie turns to Mary Elizabeth, who's also dosed.
How long does this take to work?
We cut to the exterior of Bob's house at night. About 45 minutes. The sound is muted, thick. Slight echoes. Charlie shovels the snow. Crunch. Fascinated by his breath making fog. Sam comes outside. She's worried about him.
Shoveling snow, huh?
I have to get this driveway clean. Then I have to congratulate you for being happy because you deserve it.
You said that an hour ago.
Was that tonight? God, I was looking at this tree, but then it was a dragon, and then it was a tree. It fooled me.
Okay, Charlie, don't freak out. Just give me the shovel. Calm down. Look up.
She points, and Charlie looks up, seeing the stars.
Isn't it quiet? We're in a glass snow globe, and those amazing white stars are holes in the black glass of the dome. And when we go to heaven, the glass breaks away, and there's nothing but a whole sheet of star white, which is brighter than anything, but doesn't hurt your eyes.
Charlie looks.
Sam, do you ever think that if people knew how crazy you really were, no one would talk to you?
All the time. So, you want to put on these glasses? They'll protect you.
Sam puts her arm around his shoulder, protecting him. Charlie looks through the glasses. The sky bends like a globe. When he breathes, the sky ripples. We cut to the interior of Bob's house at night. Charlie wanders through the party, tripping out of his mind. He sits down on the sofa, and the world unbends as Charlie takes off the glasses. Kids walk around the party, leaving ghosts of themselves behind. Charlie looks upstairs to find Sam and Craig kissing. Craig leads her to the bedroom. Jesus. Charlie looks back at the party as kids gather for the New Year's countdown. Patrick leads the charge.
10, 9, 8.
We cut to the exterior of Charlie's street at night. In a quick flash, we see 7-year-old Charlie with Aunt Helen on Christmas Eve. She bends down to whisper in his ear.
It'll be our little secret, all right?
We cut back to the present at Bob's house as Charlie takes a deep breath and tries to remember that he's at a New Year's Eve party.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
The crowd cheers, leaving ghosts of themselves. Charlie gets up from the sofa and walks out of Bob's house. We cut to the exterior of Charlie's street. Charlie's walking down the road under a streetlight. Silhouette. The road is icy. Charlie lays down and starts moving his arms in the snow, and the memories begin to haunt him. We cut to the exterior of Charlie's street in a flashback, back to 7-year-old Charlie as he waves goodbye to Aunt Helen. She's driving away through the landing strip for Santa Claus. Back to the present, 16-year-old Charlie blinks and the memories come faster. We quickly cut back to the past. Aunt Helen drives past a tall snowdrift. She looks down at the 45 of the Beatles next to her. She smiles at Charlie's birthday present. Then she looks up as the headlights of a semi-truck smash the windows with a crash. We cut to Charlie's house at night. Still in a flashback, Charlie's mother opens the door, revealing a policeman. He turns to Charlie in his party hat, 7 years old, and confused. We cut back to the present with 16-year-old Charlie laying on the snow, shivering as the image goes high above to reveal that he's made a snow angel. Then we cut to a hospital room in the afternoon. The emergency room is bustling on a New Year's Day. Charlie sits next to Candace. He's wrapped in a gray blanket, freezing. He watches his parents talking to the police and the doctors through the door. The sound is still underwater.
He used to wander off when his aunt died. We finally had to.
Oh no.
Mute
now,
there.
Mute there. He spent some time in a hospital when he was 7.
Then I'd bring him to a psychiatrist. He could be having a relapse.
Excuse me, folks. With all respect to your son's mental history, let's not rule out the possibility of drug abuse here.
On that, the nurse comes over and closes the door. Click. Charlie looks over at his sister, who shakes her head.
Are so screwed.
Charlie looks up as the police, doctors, and his parents tower over him. He's terrified and does what any kid would do, lies his ass off.
Did your older friends pressure you?
No one pressured me into anything. I would never do drugs, officer. Never.
True story.
Then how do you happen to be passed out on the ground at 6 a.m?
Well, I was really tired and I was feeling feverish. So I went outside for a walk just to get some cold air, and I started seeing things. So I passed out.
He waits to see if that worked, and then unexpectedly...
All right, here comes my best Kelsey energy. You seeing things again, Charlie?
Not really.
Intermission.
Intermission.
Right, it's intermission.
8:45-ish.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and hope my
Get
food
ourselves a
gets
treat.
Your food or our food? Did you order
Our
food?
food I ordered for you too, dear.
Oh, color me shocked.
Married life, yay.
Well, because I'm not gonna cook. Reggie's begging
We
for
both
food.
know that.
We know. I've seen the video now. I know you won't cook. Not even after the truck had a flat tire.
What?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. That was like years ago.
Yeah, but the memory just popped back up.
It did. It did. You don't deserve my cooking, dare.
Yeah, I'm a much better person than that.
Oh, fuck you.
Nobody deserves your cooking.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh my God. I turned on the AC because it was like really hot in the house when I got home. And now it is freezing.
Oh, whatever. Listen. I like it's so funny because I kind of like to be somewhat warm. Bree does not like to be warm at night, so I've been dealing with like a meat locker situation for the last couple weeks.
I want to crack the window tonight, and Drew's gonna have to deal.
Maybe that will be better because between their flatulence, and Reggie's flatulence.
Facts are facts, man. I got chili tonight, so I did it to myself.
Oh my God!
Crack the window.
Crack every window. Turn every fan on. Climb every mountain. Whatever the hell you need to do.
Tomorrow's Easter. Why did I do this?
Yes. I'm hoping someone would notice that, Danny. So thank you for getting my super queer references.
Love it.
Dang it.
I feel like Cadaver isn't back yet, but I really feel like we need to talk about the difference between ponytail mute and muted ponytail.
Right. We're all having issues tonight. It's fine. It's going.
Yeah, Drew's been having some tech issues on theirs, which is silly because I have a Pixel book open and mine's been completely fine, and they've got a MacBook Pro and theirs has been wonky as hell.
I'm not gonna say anything to that, but
well, we get MacBook Pros for free for working where we work, so
which yay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have one.
I have an Air that's just like the one just like my personal one. And my boss told me she ordered me a computer, which I assumed was the desktop that was going to go in my office eventually.
And
it was a brand ass new MacBook Pro.
Holy crap.
And it's so nice.
Yeah, we got MacBook Pros for work too, and it's like they're freaking great for so many things. But so they shipped them, and they had to ship them externally because obviously they weren't allowed to like come drop stuff off at the house or whatever. Right. And because they were brand new, they shipped with the invoices, and I was like, because it's not just like the cheapest MacBook Pro that they could get. Like they had added a bunch of stuff to it, and it's like one of the nicer ones. And I was like, I would never fucking pay that much for a laptop. Like I am way too fucking cheap for that. I would pay half of that for a desktop and have the same amount of computer. I don't need a laptop that bad.
Correct.
Which is great, but we can do Google Meets and be on the phone and whatnot for like a whole day and it keeps up, which is amazing and awesome. But I don't know what the crap is going on with mine tonight. Although I did notice the there's the thing that like the internet plugs into because I'm hardwired down here is what?
You froze. It froze up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Which was even hilarious, sir.
Hilarious.
Y'all. My sleep schedule still has not been reset yet. I've had to wake up at 5 at least 3 times in the last couple of days. Let's not do this.
Nice. Aww. But anyway, I was saying I did notice that the thing that the internet is plugged into, because like it has to have an adapter and everything, I did notice that was loose. So I thought maybe that will take care of it. So I can at least see you all now. Because for the majority of it, y'all were cutting out and I couldn't see any of your videos or anything. So I was I don't know if somebody's talking right now. Is it my turn? I don't fucking know. So sorry for the people that I spoke over and the people that I
didn't speak up for.
Right, didn't speak. Yeah.
Oh, right on time. Logan just got here with wine.
Oh, yay. All right, so we're just waiting.
I'm drinking pineapple wine, and the entire basement smells like pineapple. It's pretty fucking great.
Hold up, we got pineapple wine, bish?
No, I have pineapple wine. You have nothing.
Oh.
That's what marriage is.
What's mine is yours, I thought.
Guess I'll be eating your dinner, too.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Lit.
Also, most of the time you hate wine.
Ooh.
But I like pineapple.
Dirty.
Right.
I guess you could say it's a wine apple night.
Oh.
You know, if you weren't so
show
important to this
myself
script read,
out.
we would kick you out of here.
Yes, we would.
No. We
Oh,
love
also,
that.
hey, friendly reminder for whoever is clicking or arrowing through the script. When you do that, the little name that you come up under, like,
Anonymous
blocks
walrus.
people from being able. Yeah, whoever anonymous walrus is keeps blocking me from being able to read my lines. So if you could stop that,
That's why I
be
downloaded
great.
mine, so I don't get yelled at.
Well, Mona's narrator next time too, so just keep.
Shit.
Actually, well, but next time the script is funky because I had to order it. Like I had to buy the script, so
Mhm.
we have like a PDF. So y'all are gonna have to
Well,
like
and-
actually pay attention.
Well, and like it's not so bad like if you click above where people are reading or like
Mhm.
well below, but it's like when you're like if somebody is trying to stay like fairly close to what's happening, like the thing just keeps like
Mhm.
popping up all over the dang place.
All right, so I'm
right.
assuming. All right.
All we have left is cadaver.
Well, and the thing is, I was gonna say we can wait a little longer, but it's also 8:50. How far?
Ponytail chorus. When does ponytail chorus come back?
Well, Brad's.
It's
Oh,
soon after.
pretty immediately.
Yeah, like Brad has a line maybe.
A page from now.
Yeah, like there we
There
go.
he
Yes.
is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask really quick because I feel like I want to just address this before we jump straight back in. But is there a difference between ponytail mute and muted ponytail?
I don't know. I don't make them. I don't know who's changing it.
Sean.
That would be
Okay.
Sean.
That's
Okay,
like
good
They're
to know.
equally
Good to know.
shameful.
it's whoever's controlling the Zoom. So it's like if it like anyone who was here for the room last time when I changed all your names at the very end of Act 2 or we're just dying because somebody, not naming names, went full method.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody. I have the screenshot of us all reacting to that, and I send it to people all the time.
I
because
just-
it's something needed.
I mean, just amazing.
You want to see some crazy shit? Look at this.
Yeah.
That was one of like the best nights of my entire
Well,
life.
nothing.
So good.
Nothing beats Johnny throwing the TV and then Michelle literally can't even get the words out. He picks up he throws it through the window.
Her narrating through that was the funniest shit ever.
Well, it was
And
just-
then this happens?
She was like, "What? I'm so confused."
oh, let's not forget. I was literally like, what?
Oh, hey, our
Your food's
food's here.
Wow.
I'll be back. Do I have to say
Yeah, you're
anything?
No.
You're in it. You got
She's got a little bit.
Yeah.
She's got enough time to hand the food to us.
You got enough. You got enough on that, Mary Elizabeth. So go get the food. I'm gonna let our peeps talk a little bit about Rain, and I'll tell everybody what's going on for the future.
Sean, do you want to give a rundown?
A Rain. Oh, it's bad.
I'm 2
You are
for 2.
Listen. You are pulling
No, you're
some
0
real
for 2.
No, you're pulling some star ass quality shit here, and because you know we can't kick you out because we don't have an understudy.
There is no trailer in Zoom, but I digress. So RAIN is the Rape Abuse Incest National Network. They are one of the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organizations, doing a lot of advocacy work, as well as providing national support and having a hotline to call. When I Googled RAIN to figure out if they were one to be for our donation for this time, the Google pops up immediately, large print, their national sexual assault hotline. So providing a needed resource for this country, unfortunately, as we work through so many challenges we're working through it. So definitely a good organization. I was happy that we spoke to this in this script particularly. And so we haven't collected donations directly. We really wanted folks to go right to the organization and donate there. But I also noted as I was going through between during intermission, Danny posted and had folks donate there. We've already gotten $40 out of folks who got donated through Facebook. And so you out there in YouTube Facebook land, please donate to Rain, whether through Facebook or directly to your organization, and certainly support this group.
Correct. So, all right.
And right before we jump in, I'm going to reiterate that the second act gets deep. We're going to be covering some difficult topics, including sexual assault and some homophobia in general. And as always, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that if you need someone to check in with, do that. And if you need to step away for a little bit, and you can also hit any one of us up for any sort of resources you might need or just event. But yeah, that's the warning. Now we're ready.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay,
Already?
I'm sorry. No, so I saw Ginger like running into the room with a drink, and I thought she was bringing it to me, so I turned around to like take the drink from her. But it was on a completely different screen, but like I saw like her running and just assumed that she was bringing me stuff.
Anyway, what's going on, folks?
I'm laughing at you and my clearly idiot reactions to everything that's happening today.
Okay, where are we?
We're just getting ready to start, so
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute while I eat.
Please do.
Jesus! Damn, Sarah!
I would be mad if it weren't true. So
I mean, like she is a loud eater, but like,
listen,
she's a loud everythinger.
Listen, if I wouldn't have said it, you would have said it. So let's be very real here.
Hey, I'm trying this new thing of not being a cunt at least like 15 minutes a day, and like this was the 15 minutes I had chosen. So I'm glad you did it for me.
All right.
Oh, okay. We cut to the exterior of Mill Grove High School, the parking lot in the morning. The tires squish the gray slush puddles as the buses pull into the dreary parking lot. The school is back in session. We cut to the hallway. Charlie shakes off the cold and takes off his overcoat to reveal that he's wearing his suit from Secret Santa. All of the kids stare, and Charlie immediately realizes he has made a terrible mistake.
It was a Christmas present.
Oh, buddy. Interior of Bill's classroom. Charlie sits as Bill hands out the book for the semester, The Great Gatsby. As the kids chatter, Bill gives Charlie his own book to start the year, The Stranger.
Did you have fun on your break?
More fun than you're going to have today, Sinatra.
Bill pats his shoulder and moves on. The smartass freshman looks at Charlie and whispers,
I didn't know the circus was in town.
The exterior of the Hollywood movie theater at night. Rocky Horror faithful enter the theater.
I called him 30 times.
We cut to the interior of the movie theater green room. Mary Elizabeth and the kids are getting ready for the floor show.
Well, what are we supposed to do? We're going on in 10 minutes.
The phone rings. Mary Elizabeth picks up. Charlie turns to Brad, sitting next to him, and Charlie is freaking out.
But they said in health class.
They say that about LSD to scare you.
Are you sure?
Charlie, you're fine, man.
Mary Elizabeth hangs up the phone, frustrated.
Guys, we have an emergency. Craig flaked out on us again. I need a Rocky. Brad?
No way, there are people out there.
The group is deflated, and they all start thinking. After a beat, Mary Elizabeth turns and looks at Charlie.
Charlie, take off your clothes.
We cut to the interior of the theater later. You know those dreams that you have when you're standing in front of 200 people in your underwear? Well, it's not a dream this time. We hear the heartbeat as Charlie dances out of the rocky gauze and finds himself standing in tight gold underwear, looking out at 200 people who are cheering him on. His friends can't stop smiling, especially Mary Elizabeth, who watches Charlie's little butt in his gold undies. She does something that is cut off in the script. So we move to touch me in the full swing. Sam slinks over to Charlie dressed in her white bra and slip.
Down, down, down.
That's just one small fraction of the main attraction. Maybe a friendly hand.
Sam grabs Charlie's hands and rubs them all over her chest. Bitch. So the song continues, and we see flashes of the night's performance as our YouTube channel gets shut down for copyright infringement. The performance continues as Charlie goes from train wreck to triumph. Charlie joins Sam in the kick line, and it feels like it's just the two of them. On the final beat, Sam gasps.
Oh, creature of the night.
Yeah, that's how it goes. The song ends, the cast bows, and Sam and Patrick push Charlie in front of his for his own curtain call. Everyone cheers, and it's a night that he will never forget. We cut to the exterior of the theater. The wind whips, and it's a bracing February cold. Charlie helps Mary Elizabeth carry the costumes outside to her car.
Maybe I could join the cast as an alternate or something.
Well, I mean, we're filled up now, but they'll need people after we leave for college. I could put in a good word for you.
That'd be great. Thanks.
They put the box in her trunk, and snap it closed. We can't help but notice "Keep your laws off my body" bumper sticker that Mary Elizabeth tries her best to flirt.
Charlie, have you heard of the Sadie Hawkins dance?
Right. The one where the girl asks the guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's completely stupid and sexist. It's like, hey, thanks for the crumb. And normally I just blow it off because school dances suck torture. But it's my last year and maybe you'd want to go with me?
You want to go with me?
I'm sick of macho guys, and you did look really cute in your costume, so what do you say?
Charlie thinks, and ding dong, Charlie's mom opens the door for Mary Elizabeth. Charlie straightens out his church suit, so nervous.
You must be Mary Elizabeth. It's so good to meet you.
You too, Mrs. Kelmekis.
Charlie tells me you're a Buddhist.
The interior of the house, the fireplace cracks. Charlie and Mary Elizabeth stand next to it, and Candace and Derek are there as well.
Okay, a little closer now. This looks nice. I need you to smile a little bit more. There you go. Nice.
Cheese, white flash, the picture of 4 kids smiling big. In the high school gymnasium, Charlie and Mary Elizabeth slow dance to an 80s love song. Sweaty palms, awkward, hands on hips, the horror. Charlie looks around the gym and sees Alice dancing with her date, an effeminate goth kid of about 17. We'll never meet him, but he'll make us laugh, at least for a few seconds. Charlie then watches Patrick dance with Sam. He follows Patrick's gaze across the floor to Brad, who dances with a senior girl, 18. Charlie sees the boys look at each other for a moment. It's like they're dancing together. Mary Elizabeth is now at the punch bowl with the gang, and Charlie sees Sam standing by the wall looking sad, so he approaches.
Are you having a good time?
Not really. How about you?
I don't know. This is my first date, so I don't know what to compare it to.
Don't worry. You're doing fine.
Charlie joins her at the wall. Mary Elizabeth gives them a quick, jealous look.
I'm sorry Craig didn't come.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to go to some stupid high school dance. Can't say I blame him.
I don't know. If you like it, he should come.
Thanks, Charlie. Have a beautiful first date. You deserve it.
I'll try not to make you too jealous.
He said it to cheer her up, but Sam forces a smile and leaves. We cut to the interior of Mary Elizabeth's den/living room. Mary Elizabeth approaches Charlie on the antique sofa. She uncorks a bottle of wine. She hands him the bottle.
Now let it breathe like my poussoir.
Mary Elizabeth walks over to the vintage turntable. She turns on the gas fireplace with a remote, wishing she could turn off her poussoir.
This sure is a nice house.
Thanks.
Mary Elizabeth drops the needle on the vinyl LP. A doo-wop makeout classic begins to play, and she dances over to Charlie.
Don't you love old music? Good, because I made you a mix and I'd love to expose you to some great things like my titties and Billie Holiday and foreign films.
She pours the wine. Charlie looks at the bottle.
This Merlot was really fancy.
Yeah, my dad collects it, but he never drinks it. That's weird, isn't it?
I guess. Where are your parents?
Their club is hosting a cotillion or something racist. They'll be gone all night.
Mary Elizabeth drops her necklace with a thud. Charlie looks around, heart beating.
That's
Reginald.
sure,
Sorry. She's up my
that's sure a nice fire.
You shouldn't have been airing it out.
No, she sees my egg rolls and she's all up it. Okay. Yeah, after I'm done
Sure, she can't see your egg rolls.
I don't know what's happening.
You guys are worried I'm gonna get you kicked off of YouTube?
Close your legs and she won't see your egg rolls.
Close your legs to married men. Okay, anyway. After I'm done being a lobbyist, I want to move to a house like this in Cape Cod. That sounds so nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Drew,
His
say
thumb
it.
touches his chest.
Your heart is beating really fast. Maybe because I'm being so predatory right now. Here, feel. Would you?
She puts her hands at. I'm telling y'all are fucking cutting in and out, and I don't know where you are. She puts her hands on his and moves it to his chest.
Charlie,
Uh-huh.
do you like me?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean.
I think so.
Well, don't be nervous. I'm about to blow your mind.
She slowly moves his hand to her dress strap, and it falls off of her shoulder. She leans in for a red wine kiss. She guides his hand over her bra. He feels her breasts. Wow. Match cut to the interior of Mary Elizabeth's basement. Fantasy. For a quick moment, Charlie imagines that he's kissing Sam, but it's broken by Mary Elizabeth moving his hand away. Charlie blinks, taking a moment to realize it's not Sam in the room. The song is over and the needle turns at the end of the record.
Charlie?
She gives him one last kiss, content, and lays down on his lap, peaceful.
I didn't know how it was going to go tonight, but that was pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. You of all people. I just can't believe you're my boyfriend.
We land on Charlie's face. What? And then we hear the garage door open.
Oh shit, my racist parents!
The mad scramble for clothes begins. We cut to the exterior of Charlie's house, and Mary Elizabeth's car pulls up in front of Charlie's house. Charlie gets out, wanting to say he's not her boyfriend, but not knowing how. Mary Elizabeth smiles, smitten.
See you Monday.
With that, she backs out of the driveway, and we see him from the back of her car getting smaller and smaller. His stomach is already filling with acid at the thought.
Dear friend, I'm sorry I haven't written for a while, but things are a total disaster.
We cut to the cafeteria at lunch. Sam, Patrick, and Alice are seated around the table. Mary Elizabeth has arms around Charlie, smothering him. Sounds about right.
We're literally making out, and I'm in my bra. Hello, and the front door opens, and it's my parents. I'm scrambling to get my dress on. It was so crazy. Right, babe?
Charlie nods, tortured.
I probably should have been honest about how I didn't want to go out with Mary Elizabeth after Sadie's, but I really didn't want to hurt her feelings.
We cut to the exterior of the high school parking lot. Ash Wednesday. Charlie gets off of the school bus to immediately find Mary Elizabeth waiting for him. She sees the cross of ashes on his forehead and thinks the ashes are a smudge, so she cleans it.
You see, Mary Elizabeth is a really nice person underneath the part of her that hates everyone. And since I heard that having a girlfriend makes you happy, I tried really hard to love her like I love Sam.
Can you believe it's almost our 2-week anniversary?
I know.
Exterior of the Hollywood movie theater. It's a double date. Craig and Sam buy their tickets to see a silent classic, The Cabinet of Dr. Calgary.
So I took her on double dates.
Your first foreign film.
Do you like butter on your popcorn?
Vegans don't eat butter.
Charlie tries not to feel Mary Elizabeth's sweaty hand.
And I tried not to mind that she loves to hold hands even when her hands are sweaty.
We cut to the interior of Mary Elizabeth's living room. Just like Sadie's, except the fire in the fireplace is out. We move from the fireplace to Charlie, touching Mary Elizabeth's breasts over her sweater.
And I have to admit something really upsetting, but I am tired of touching her boobs. I thought maybe if she would just let me pick out the makeout music once in a while, we might have a chance.
Charlie looks over at the Annie DeFranco mix on the stereo and sighs. We cut to the cafeteria. The gang is there, and Walden rests on Charlie's lunch tray.
And maybe if she didn't put down the books that Mr. Anderson gives me.
Walden. I read that in 7th grade. I would have called it on Boring Pond.
We cut back to the interior of Charlie's bedroom in the afternoon. Ring. Charlie grabs the cordless. He looks at Patrick's clock. 3:13. His voice can no longer hide his quiet rage.
Or if she would stop calling me the minute I get home from school when I have absolutely nothing to talk about other than the bus ride home.
That dairy just sits with you. It walks with you.
Charlie calmly puts the phone down and leaves the room. We do some things that are cut off in the script and then cut to the interior of Charlie's kitchen. Charlie is so miserable. His mom is sympathetic.
She's on the phone right now? Charlie, you have to break up with her.
I can do that.
Charlie's father leans back from the sofa and his newspaper.
For Christ's sake, I need to use the phone.
Then get an extension, cheap fucker.
And we cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom moments later. He returns, and Mary Elizabeth is still talking on the cordless, oblivious to the fact that he's not been there.
I'll give you this book. It's really I became a vegan and decided I hated berries.
I know I should have been honest, but I was getting so mad it was starting to scare me.
And he looks back at the clock. It's now 3:23.
Mary Elizabeth, can I talk to you?
Charlie, please don't interrupt. You know I hate that.
Charlie goes to his quiet place. Tick, tick, tick.
I just wish I could have found another way to break up. In hindsight, I probably could not have picked a worse way to be honest with Mary Elizabeth.
We cut to the interior of Craig's loft apartment at night. It's a game of truth or dare. The gang is seated in a circle, drinking from plastic cups. Charlie sits between Mary Elizabeth and Sam, and we all know where this is going.
Oh no, Mutie.
This is Ponytail Mute.
Truth or dare?
Who are you talking to?
I dare you to kiss Alice.
Get ready, breeder.
Oh. As Patrick approaches an apprehensive Alice, we hear Craig.
Mary Elizabeth, Samantha told me that you got into Harvard. Congratulations.
Why the fuck are we calling her Samantha? But thank you. This one hasn't gotten me flowers, but I forgive you.
She kisses him, and Charlie bites his cheeks. Sam looks a little bit depressed.
Don't worry about Penn State. You're just waitlisted.
Excuse me, everyone, but you're missing some hot gay on goth action.
The anticipation is killing everyone. Patrick is getting ready to plant the biggest kiss on Alice when she jumps him. Everyone groans. Ew, laughter all around. Patrick looks for the next person. Charlie's heart pounds. Don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me, please don't pick me.
Okay, my turn. Let's think. Charlie, truth or dare?
Silence and thinking. Then finally,
Truth.
How is your first relationship going?
It's so bad that I keep fantasizing that one of us is dying of cancer, so I don't have to break up with her.
Charlie, truth or dare?
Charlie blinks. It was all a fantasy.
Dare.
I dare you to kiss the prettiest girl in the room on the lips. Notice I charitably said girl and not person because let's face it, I'd smoke all you bitches.
Alice hits him and laughter erupts. Charlie thinks. He looks at Mary Elizabeth and then turns to Sam. Before Sam can even react, Charlie plants a kiss right on her lips. When he opens his eyes, he looks around and realizes the magnitude of his mistake. Everyone stares, and after a horrible silence,
Well, that's fucked up.
without a word, Mary Elizabeth just stands, dignified, and goes into the kitchen.
Mary Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I'm
Alice follows Mary Elizabeth. Sam is close behind.
Sam. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry.
Sam turns and looks at him. She doesn't even recognize him.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Charlie is devastated. Exterior of Bob's house, we see them moving to the driveway. Charlie feels awful. He's panicking.
I should go back inside and apologize.
Trust me, you do not want to go back there.
But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do anything.
No, you didn't. But look, I hate to be the one to break this, but there's history with Mary Elizabeth and Sam, other guys, things that have nothing to do with you. But it's best if you stay away for a while.
Okay. How long do you think?
Silence. Charlie looks over at Patrick, who is wearing a grave expression. It's going to take a long time. We hear the sound of the typewriter. Then as we cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom. Charlie sits at his desk. It looks as if he's barely slept. He begins typing, and the keys up close and loud. Clack, clack. On the close-up typing, we see, "Dear friend, I've not seen my friends for 2 weeks now. I'm starting to get bad again." Charlie stares at the typewriter and then remembers in a flashback. Little Charlie pops his head around the corner from the hallway. He looks at something we can't yet see. We cut back to the present. Knock, knock. Charlie's mom opens the door. Hello, mother.
Well, if I were the mother, I'd say we're going to be late for Easter Mass.
I'm getting there, you jackass. I had to pee.
Okay.
And we're gonna be late for Easter Mass.
I'll be there in a minute.
As Charlie recovers from the overshare that his mother had to pee, Charlie forces a smile and then looks back at the typewriter. He tries to shake off the memory of his mother peeing, as well as the memory of little Charlie, as he's looking at Aunt Helen, as she smokes her cigarette and sobs. We cut back to the interior of the church in the morning. Charlie is lost. His family sits in the pews for Easter Mass, and Charlie watches the priest recite the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
We match the cut to the interior of the church in the morning and a flashback as 7-year-old Charlie watches the priest recite the Lord's Prayer. He looks at Aunt Helen's picture on the coffin.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
We cut back to Charlie, currently 16, looking haunted by the memory.
and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
All of the voices drift away, and all Charlie can see is the flashback. 7-year-old Charlie takes Aunt Helen's hand to make her stop crying. We cut to the interior of the church in the morning. 16-year-old Charlie blinks as the voices come back.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And we cut back to Charlie's bedroom. Charlie's on the phone. His voice wavers a bit. Desperate.
Mary Elizabeth, I've been listening to the Billie Holiday CD every night, and
It's too late, Charlie.
I know. I feel really bad about what I did. I get so messed up inside. Like it's like I'm not there or something.
Tell it to someone who fucking cares.
I know. I'm sorry. We've all become such good friends.
Good friends? You mean the people I've known since kindergarten and that you've known for 6 months? Those good friends?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to do anything to ruin our.
It's fucking ruined, okay? So stop calling everyone and stop embarrassing yourself.
Okay. I will. Goodbye, Mary.
Dial tone. Charlie hangs up the phone. We cut to the interior of Bob's basement at night. Charlie is terribly anxious. He watches Bob groom some pot.
Something's wrong with me.
Don't worry about it. Hey, you hear from Patrick?
No, he told me to stay away.
Oh, you don't know.
Why? What happened?
Brad's father caught them together.
We cut to the interior of the high school hallway. As kids open lockers and move to the morning period, Charlie stares at Brad. He has a black eye and cuts on his face. He looks like he's been beaten up pretty badly. Students whisper and gossip.
Some Lebo kids jumped him outside the O.
It was some kids from North Hills.
That's not what I heard.
Brad moves into the arms of Charlotte, 18, cheerleader kind of cute. As Brad kisses her, Charlie sees Patrick down the hall watching them. Patrick closes his locker, hurt.
Are you okay?
Not now, Charlie. I'm sorry.
Patrick storms off. We cut to the interior of the cafeteria at lunchtime. Charlie sits at his table, alone, and watches Patrick leave the lunch line, passing the chorus of...
Hey, nothing.
Patrick says nothing. He's too sad to fight the mob today. He just moves to the table when the nose tackle sticks out his leg. Patrick falls on his tray and the kid laughs.
Oops. Sorry, nothing.
Patrick smiles to himself, dusts off, and then turns to Brad.
You gonna do something?
What are you talking about?
Your pet ape just tripped me. Are you going to say something?
Why would I?
You know why.
It's too far. Brad can feel the people staring.
This is pathetic, man. Your fixation on me.
Brad's friends all laugh. Patrick's eyes narrow.
Do you want your friends to know how you got those bruises? Really?
I got jumped in a parking lot.
Where? In Shenley Park? They know about Shenley Park? You guys know about Shenley Park?
Brad stands and gets right in Patrick's face.
I don't know what kind of sick shit you're trying to pull, but you better walk away now. Nothing.
The warning was real.
Fine. Say hi to your dad for me.
Patrick turns and leaves, and then, as an afterthought,
Ooh, I don't know how to fix this one.
I feel like there's really no way.
I just gotta
on this
do
one,
it?
I feel like you have to do it.
It's a plot
Yeah,
point.
we have
All
to do
right. Whatever, faggot.
What did you
Brad's
call
friends
me?
all laugh, and Patrick stops and turns. This is the last chance.
What did you call me?
I called you a
Whatever.
slur.
Smack. Before Brad can even finish, Patrick throws a vicious right to the cheek. Brad tackles him, and the two start fighting. The cafeteria erupts in noise.
Say that shit again. Say that shit again.
Brad's football buddies rise and peel Patrick off of Brad. Mary Elizabeth and Sam jump up from their corner table.
It's Patrick.
The cafeteria grows louder. The nose tackle holds Patrick up. There's more noise, and the linebacker hits Patrick in the face.
No! No!
Sam rushes up, and the nose tackle pushes her down. She lands on her tailbone with a thud. Patrick gets hit a couple of times in the face, and the kids cheer the fight. It's getting louder and more noise, and then we smash cut to dead silence. Charlie comes out from a blink. He calmly looks around for a moment. He doesn't understand where he is. He looks up, and all of the kids are staring at him. Mary Elizabeth, Alice, Brad. They're all quiet, afraid of him. Charlie looks at his hand clenched in a fist. It's already covered with something that the script cuts off, which is super convenient. Charlie's confused until he sees a linebacker holding his broken, bloody nose. He's looking at Charlie, terrified. The image pans over. The nose tackle is on the ground, and Charlie stands over both of them. He's disconnected. It's an out-of-body experience. He reaches out to help Patrick to his feet. Then he suddenly turns and stares right through Brad.
If you touch my friends again, I'll blind you.
Brad is stunned, and so is everyone, except Sam. We cut to the interior of the principal's office in the afternoon. Charlie sits in the waiting room of the principal's office. He looks through the glass where Principal Small talks to Brad. After a beat, she pats Brad on the shoulder and opens the door, leaving Charlie and Brad alone in the waiting room. Just as Brad is about to leave...
Charlie?
Yeah?
Thanks for stopping him.
Sure, Brad.
Brad doesn't look at him. He just moves on. We cut to the exterior of the high school in the parking lot. Charlie exits the building and kids stare at him, and then everyone looks away. Charlie feels lost until he sees Sam. She smiles. It brings him back instantly, and then gently...
How are you doing, Charlie?
I don't know. I keep trying, but I can't really remember what I did.
Sam can see he's afraid of himself, and she nods sympathetically.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
You saved my brother. That's what you did.
So you're not scared of me?
No.
Can we be friends again?
Of course.
The minute she hugs him, the numbness goes away. She kisses the top of his head and puts her arm around his shoulder. They begin walking away.
Come on. Let's go be psychos together.
We cut to the interior of Patrick and Sam's house in the kitchen. Mary Elizabeth looks at us because she wants us to know.
I'm dating Peter now.
She motions to Peter, college, glasses, good-looking-ish.
He's in college with Craig. He's opinionated, and we have intellectual debates, and I eat his nut cake every night. We're very sweet, but our relationship was too one-sided, and I know this is hard for you.
I'm just glad you're happy.
Okay.
Mary Elizabeth joins Peter. Charlie looks at his friends, trying to forget nutcake. Then says, why is everything in this script cut off? Like what
It's
where's
a
this
PDF
going?
conversion.
Oh, dear Lord. And something,
Short answer,
I'm assuming
Dad.
he's looking at something that says, they forget I don't. After a beat, Patrick comes downstairs. He looks sad with his bruises.
Hey, Craig. They will be down soon.
We're going to miss the movie.
Yeah, I'll have to put some pep in his step. First
As
step.
Craig moves upstairs, Patrick approaches Charlie.
Hey, you want to get out of here?
Sure, Patrick.
We cut to the West End overlook at night. Patrick drives Sam's truck up the hill to the overlook.
I gotta tell you something, Charlie. I feel good. You know what I mean? Maybe tomorrow I'll take you to this karaoke place downtown. In this club off the strip, they don't card. And the Shenley Park scene, you gotta see the Fruit Loop at least one time.
We cut to the exterior again as Charlie and Patrick walk the lighted path, howling at the moon. Patrick holds a thermos filled with God knows what.
Oh my God. My life is officially an after-school special. Son of a bitch.
It kind of is. It so is.
They both laugh as they arrive at the lookout and drink.
So, you ever hear about Lily Miller?
I don't know.
Really? I thought your brother would have told you. The classic.
Maybe.
So Lily comes here with this guy, Parker, and this was going to be the night they were going to lose their virginity. So she did it real proper. She packed a picnic, stole a bottle of wine. Everything was perfect. And they're just about to do it when they realize they forgot the condoms. What do you think happened?
I don't know.
They did it with a sandwich bag.
They start
Ew.
laughing and screaming.
No, that's disgusting.
Yes, it is. Let's keep the train rolling. Urban legends. Charlie.
Patrick points to Charlie, who thinks.
Well, there was this girl named Second Base Stace. She had boobs in like 4th grade.
Mosquito bites. Promising. Go.
And she let some of the boys feel them.
That's this urban legend? Did you at least cop a feel?
No.
You went home, listened to her sleep, or a poem about her self-esteem.
Fine. Okay. Your turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got one. Well, there was this one guy, queer as a $3 bill. Guy's father didn't know about his son. So he comes down to the basement one night when he's supposed to be out of town. Catches his son with another boy. So he starts beating him, but not like the slap kind, like the real kind. And the boyfriend says, "Stop, you're killing him." And the son just yells, "Get out." And eventually the boyfriend just did.
Patrick stops, gripped by sad. He can't shake it.
Why can't you save anybody?
I don't know.
Forget it. I'm free now, right? I can meet the love of my life any second now. Things will be different now, and that's good. I just need to meet a good guy.
Yeah.
Patrick looks at him. Charlie has never seen him so vulnerable. After a beat, Patrick kisses Charlie on the mouth. Unsure of what to do, Charlie lets it happen. His eyes open the whole time. A moment, and then Patrick looks at Charlie. He collapses into his chest.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Charlie holds his friend as Patrick begins to cry, and we leave them, the city lights small in the distance. We cut to the exterior of the city highway. We see the truck going down the road.
I've been spending a lot of time with Patrick. He begins every night really excited.
We cut to the exterior of Shenley Park at night. Patrick and Charlie are parked at the entrance of Shenley Park, and Patrick speaks very animated until...
He always says he feels free, and tonight is his destiny. But after a while, he runs out of things to keep himself numb.
And the words leave him, and we can see how sad he really is. We cut to the interior of Sam and Patrick's house. Moments later, Patrick hands Sam an envelope. Sam holds it, pins and needles.
Then Sam got her letter from Penn State.
Sam opens the letter and reads. Tears instantly well up in her eyes, and she leaves the room to walk down the hall. Patrick picks up the letter.
We will require that you take our summer session at the main campus immediately following your high school graduation. You got it in, Charlie.
Charlie turns back to Sam. She holds him with sweet relief and redemption. We cut to the interior of the cafeteria. Charlie laughs with his friends at the cafeteria.
After all that, all Patrick could talk about was college and all of their futures. Alice did get into NYU Film School. Patrick is going to the University of Washington because he wants to be near the music in Seattle.
We cut to the interior of shop class. Charlie and a group of students stand looking up at the wall, which is covered with...
But he wasn't going to leave without organizing the best senior prank ever.
Every single one of the shop tools painted pink. The shop teacher, Mr. Callahan, stares at the wall, furious. As the kids gawk, Charlie smiles to himself. We cut to the interior of the cafeteria. Sam and the girls chat excitedly. Summer is almost here.
Sam is going to leave right after graduation. It all feels very exciting. I just wish it were happening to me.
We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom. Charlie sits on his bed, finishing the letter.
Especially because ever since I blacked out in the cafeteria, It's been getting worse. And I can't turn it off this time.
Charlie puts down the letter. We cut to the interior of Bill's classroom in the mornings. The kids pass their copies of The Great Gatsby back up to the front, where Bill collects them for the next year's freshmen. The class is buzzing loudly.
Guys, you want to pass up your copies of The Great Gatsby, please? And I know it's the last day, but if we could just keep it to a dull roar, I'd appreciate it.
The class quiets down, barely.
Thank you for such a great year. I had a blast. I hope you did too. I hope you have a great summer, and I hope you have some great vacations. Now, who here is going to be reading for pleasure this summer?
Charlie looks around to see if anybody is watching and then decides to raise his hand anyway. Bill's proud.
Very good, Charlie. Who else?
Charlie looks at the smartass freshman who tormented him all year. She sighs, nothing left to say to him. We cut to the interior of Bill's classroom later. The last kid exits the classroom. Charlie walks down the aisle and stands in front of Bill.
Last day.
Yeah. So I know it's none of my business, but have you decided, are you going to New York?
Well, my wife and I like it here, and I think we were going to be teaching. I think I'm better at teaching than writing.
Charlie's relieved. Bill's staying.
So, Charlie, I was thinking maybe I could give you books next year.
Yeah.
I think you could write one of them one day.
Really?
I do.
Charlie's quiet, and then...
You're the best teacher I ever had.
Thank you.
He gives Bill a shy, sideways hug. The two men say nothing else. Charlie waves and leaves. Bill smiles to himself. We cut to the interior of the high school hallway. Times Square has nothing on these seniors. Charlie watches the gang on their last day of high school. When the clock hits 10 seconds to 3 p.m., all of the students chant.
10,
9, 8,
7, 6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
Oh my God!
It's so bad.
Anna did it.
1.
They all cheer and hug each other as the narrator and the entire audience cringe at how terrible that was. Patrick loses his mind with joy and continues down the hallway. We smash cut to the exterior of the football stadium. A brilliant sunset. We see the gang in silhouette running up the bleachers after the sun.
Dear friend, I wanted to tell you about us running. There's this beautiful sunset, and just a few hours before, everyone I love had their last day of high school ever. And I was happy because they were happy, even though I counted. And I have 1,095 days to go.
We cut to the interior of Charlie's house. Fireplace, late afternoon. It's prom night. Charlie sees Candace posing for Dad's camera. For a moment, we think Candace went to prom with Derek.
I kept thinking about what school was going to be like without them as they were all getting ready for their prom.
As Mom and Dad move out of the way, we realize Candace is standing with her 3 best friends. They look beautiful.
My sister finally decided to break up with Ponytail Derek and go stag with her girlfriends instead.
We cut to the exterior of Sam and Patrick's house at sunset. Prime night continues, and the antique limo is so garish, it's great. Charlie snaps pictures with Sam's mom, and Patrick's dad. Mary Elizabeth is with her boyfriend, Peter. Alice stands with Patrick, dashing in his mod suit tux.
And then there was Sam.
The image moves to the front of the house where Sam emerges. She wears a vintage flapper dress from the 20s and is radiant.
I've looked at her picture since that night. I like to see how happy she was before she knew.
Sam joins Craig. They kiss for the cameras and then run with the rest of the gang to the limousine.
They were in a hotel suite after prom when the truth came out.
The gang poses for more pictures in front of the limo.
Basically, Craig has been cheating on Sam the whole time. When I heard that, I kept thinking about the happy girl in these pictures because she doesn't have 1,095 days to go.
We cut to the exterior of the parking lot in the afternoon. It's graduation day. The place is packed with graduating seniors and families. Charlie's mom and dad fawn over Candace with the video camera, and Charlie finally finds Sam.
She made it. This is her time, and no one should be able to take that away.
They approach each other and hug.
Congratulations.
Oh, Tally's here. Guys, group photo. We should all take a group photo. Get against the railing and try to look suave.
The kids line up for the picture they'll always remember.
Yeah, this is the one. That's going to be a great angle.
Patrick bows to reveal that the top of his cap reads, "Nothing hates you." The parents line up cameras. Cheese, snap. We smash cut to the interior of Sam and Patrick's kitchen and living room. The grandfather clock reads 9:30 p.m. The room is festive under streamers wishing Sam luck at Penn State. The kids sign each other's yearbooks. Charlie sees Sam smile at old photos. He misses her already.
At her going away party, I wanted her to know about that night we went through the tunnel and how for the first time I felt like I belonged somewhere.
We cut to the interior of the Sam and Patrick's kitchen. It's 10:28 p.m. Charlie doesn't know where the time keeps going. Sam opens goodbye presents from her family.
And tomorrow she's leaving. So I wanted to give her a part of me.
Giggity. Charlie watches Sam pick up his present. She carefully peels the tape to reveal that Charlie gave her all of his books.
Are these all your books, Charlie?
He nods. They lock eyes but don't speak. We cut to the interior of Sam's bedroom. The pictures are down. The dresser is empty. The suitcase is open on the bed. Charlie watches Sam fold clothes and put them in her suitcase. He's promised himself that he will not cry, even when she packs away his Beatles 45 of something. Instead, he looks at her and tries to remember every detail: her hair, her brown eyes, the sound of her voice.
Thanks for staying up with me.
Sure. My brother said Penn State has a restaurant called Ye Old College Diner. You have to get a grilled sticky on your first night. It's a tradition.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Pretty soon you'll have a whole new group of friends and you won't even think about this place anymore.
Yes, I will.
Sam moves some suitcases over to a pile in the room. They stand next to each other, close.
I had lunch with Craig today.
Yeah?
He said he was sorry and that I was right to break up with him, but I'm driving away and I just feel so small. Just asking myself, why do I and everyone I love pick people who treat us like we're nothing?
We accept the love we think we deserve.
He says it, sober, without judgment, and Sam lets it sink in. Charlie walks over to the bed to do more packing, and then she turns to him.
Then why didn't you ever ask me out?
Charlie didn't expect that. He's silent, heart pounding.
I just didn't think you wanted that.
Well, what did you want?
I just want you to be happy.
Don't you get it, Charlie? I can't feel that. It's really sweet and everything, but you can't just sit there and put everyone's lives ahead of yours and think that that counts as love. I don't want to be somebody's crush. I want people to like the real me.
I know who you are, Sam.
Sam waits, and finally, Charlie speaks from the heart.
I know I'm quiet and I know I should speak more. But if you knew the things that were in my head most of the time, you'd know what it really meant, how much we're alike, and how we've been through the same things. And you're not small. You're beautiful.
He can't contain himself anymore. He moves to her and kisses her. They stand and move to the bed, kissing. Charlie's heart pounds. They sit on the bed, still kissing. We see her fingertips, her hand on Charlie's knee. When she touches him, Charlie pulls away from her, shocked, like he's seen a ghost. It hits Charlie like freezing water.
What's wrong, Charlie?
Oh, nothing.
Charlie shakes off whatever was bothering him and continues. And we cut to the exterior of Sam and Patrick's house in the morning. It's like a dream for Charlie. He watches Sam hug Alice and Mary Elizabeth goodbye. But Charlie is somewhere else.
I'll call all the time.
Promise?
And we'll all see each other in New York.
On Sam.
Charlie can't take it. He moves to the side of the truck and puts the last suitcase in. He looks over at Sam. We smash cut back to the interior of Sam's bedroom. It's a quick flash. Charlie remembers Sam kissing Sam the night before. Her hand touches Charlie's knee. We jump back to present and Charlie snaps out of it. He turns back as Mary Elizabeth and Alice part ways. Charlie locks eyes with Sam. They take a moment and then they come together to hug. She kisses him goodbye, trying not to cry. After a moment, Sam climbs into the driver's seat of her truck with Patrick riding shotgun. Charlie looks dazed. We smash cut back to Sam's bedroom. In another quick flash, Charlie remembers pulling away from Sam, shocked, like he's seen a ghost.
What's wrong, Charlie?
We cut back to the present and Sam starts the truck. Charlie wants to scream for her to stop, but he's frozen. She drives away. He watches her go, and the truck gets smaller in the distance until it turns at the stop sign and disappears. Charlie stands there, alone. We do another quick flash back to Sam's bedroom, and Charlie remembers the night with Sam. We see her put her hand on his knee. The image moves up to the arm, to the shoulder, to the face, and we reveal that we're not in Sam's bedroom, and it's not Sam touching Charlie, but Aunt Helen.
Trigger warning. Don't wake your sister.
We jump back to reality, and the memory only registers as a small blink of his eye. Charlie sees his friends are crying. He's not. He's numb. We cut to the exterior of the suburban street. Charlie's walking down the street. His eyes far away. Images and memories are short. They're coming in violent bursts. If you've never had an anxiety attack, this is how it feels. We flash back to Christmas Eve. Aunt Helen smiles at little Charlie.
It'll be our little secret, okay?
Little Charlie nods. We cut to the exterior of the street, present. Charlie walks towards us on the sidewalk. We see him through a long lens. His image fractures. We see him on different planes of the image. He's beginning to break apart. One image, two images. We flash back. Little Candace is asleep on the floor, and Aunt Helen sits next to Charlie on the sofa.
Look, Charlie, she's fast asleep.
We cut to the exterior of the street. Back in the present, we see Charlie fracturing even more, pieces scattering farther out of focus. He's lost. He's all over the frame. In another quick flash, Aunt Helen points to little Candace.
Don't make your sister.
Back to the present, Charlie enters his house. Interior of Aunt Helen's car at night. In another quick flash, Aunt Helen gets hit by a semi-truck. We do another quick flash, and little Charlie's mom opens the door to reveal a policeman. Back in the present, Charlie is in the same entry hall in the same house 8 years later, banging his head against the door.
My fault. It's all my fault.
He passes the photo wall on the stairs. We see images of the family, church, communion, baby photos, years of history staring at us, ghosts on the wall. We cut to the interior of Charlie's room. Still in the present, Charlie sits at his desk. We see him from behind, perfectly still, trying to keep himself calm.
Stop crying.
As tears run down Charlie's face, we do another quick flash. Charlie thinks everyone is staring at him. His sister, her friends, his brother, his mother, Mary Elizabeth, Alice, and worst of it all, Sam and Patrick, the night that they toasted him in a paranoid nightmare. We cut to the interior of Charlie's bedroom in the present. Charlie is falling to pieces, tears running down his face.
Stop crying.
In more quick flashes at various locations, we see Derek hit Candace, Patrick hitting Brad, and the cafeteria erupting into violence. As Charlie remembers what he had previously blacked out, we see him in the cafeteria, terrifying. He thinks he sees Aunt Helen as he breaks the linebacker's nose. He hits another in the throat and pushes another. Charlie looks at his hand covered in blood, the whole school staring at him. Cutting back to Charlie's bedroom in the present, he holds his head, trying to stuff the pictures back into his brain. But he can't. They keep coming and coming, faster and faster. Sam's hand, little Charlie on the top of the stairs, then the police telling him that Aunt Helen is dead.
That'll be our little secret.
We go behind his head, and the image moves closer and closer and closer until it feels like we're inside of Charlie's mind. We cut to the exterior of a house swimming pool during the day. We see Candace hanging out with her girlfriends as a friend's backyard pool. Her friend, 18 and pretty, holds the cordless.
Candace, your brother's on the phone.
Candace casually picks up the phone.
Hello?
Hey, Candace.
Charlie?
Sam and Patrick left, and I just can't stop thinking something.
What?
Candace, I killed Aunt Helen, didn't I? She died getting my birthday present, so I guess I killed her, right? I've tried to stop thinking that, but I can't. She keeps driving away and dying all over and over.
Candace looks like she's gotten hit with ice water. She knows her brother, and she knows this voice. Candace covers the phone.
Call the police and send them to my house.
And I can't stop her. I'm crazy again.
No, Charlie, listen to me. Mom and Dad are going to be home with Chris any second.
I was just thinking, what if I wanted her to die, Candace?
What? Charlie? Charlie!
There's a dial tone. We cut to the interior of Charlie's house. We begin in the house. It's silent. The hallway, the entry hall, the empty bedroom, Charlie's typewriter on his desk. It's all so quiet. And then we see Charlie walking down the hallway. He turns the corner and enters the kitchen. One room. Charlie doesn't know where he is anymore. The past and the present have all bled together. In a quick flash, we see little Charlie turn into the corner in the kitchen. Back to present, 16-year-old Charlie stands in the same kitchen, breathing shallow. Back at 7, Charlie walks up to Aunt Helen sitting at the kitchen table. Back at the present, 16-year-old Charlie begins to have a full-blown anxiety attack. 7-year-old Charlie takes Aunt Helen's hand and turns it over, revealing her wrist scars. Back to the present, Charlie looks at the table, from the table to the counter with the bread and the knives. He stares at the knives for a moment, just as the policemen break down the door. We cut to the hospital at night. We see Charlie's reflection in the window. The door opens slowly, and his psychiatrist, Dr. Burton, enters. She finds him sitting in the corner. He's clearly been crying.
Charlie, I'm Dr. Burton.
Where am I?
Mayview Hospital.
The news hits Charlie hard. He begins to panic.
You have to let me go. My dad can't afford it.
Don't worry about that.
No, I saw them when I was little, and I don't want to be a Mayview kid. Just tell me how to stop it.
Stop what?
Seeing it. All their lives, all the time. Just how do you stop seeing it?
Seeing what, Charlie?
Charlie breaks.
There is so much pain, and I don't know how to not notice it.
What's hurting you?
No, not me. It's them. It's everyone. It never stops. Do you understand?
Dr. Burton smiles, sympathetic. Charlie nods, relieved that somebody finally understands, until...
What about your Aunt Helen?
Like cold water, what was tears is now confusion and soon to be shame. Dr. Burton is gentle.
What about her?
Can you see her?
Yes, she had a terrible life, but I mean, what am I?
You said some things about her in your sleep.
I don't care.
If you want to get better, you have to.
Charlie looks at her, nodding at her encouragement.
She was insane.
The minute he says one word of truth, he feels ashamed. He stops talking. Dr. Burton does not press him. Not today.
Charlie, are you going to let me help you?
Charlie cries and nods.
Okay.
Do you remember anything before you blacked out?
I remember leaving Sam's house and walking home.
We move away from them as Charlie's voice trails off. We cut to the hospital room the next morning. The sun creeps through the windows and we hear the birds outside. The intercom is quiet. Charlie is alone. He looks at Sam's typewriter. Dear friend is already typed.
I was in the hospital for a while. I won't go into detail about all of it, but I will say there were some very bad days and some unexpected beautiful days.
Charlie picks up a get well card from Sam. We cut to the interior of the hospital hallway in the daytime. Dr. Burton walks Charlie's parents down the hallway.
The worst day was the time my doctor told my mom and dad what Aunt Helen did to me.
In the distance, we see Charlie's mom and dad stop, shocked. We cut to the interior of the hospital room in the day. Charlie looks up and sees his mom and dad in the doorway.
Honey,
His mother comes to hold him.
I'm so sorry.
For a second, we see the emotion his father hides behind the sports page before he chokes it down. He walks over to his son and kisses him on the forehead. We cut to the interior of the hospital in the morning. Charlie, Chris, and Candace sit on the bed playing cards.
The best days were those when I could have visitors. My brother and sister always came for those until Chris had to go to training camp. He's going to be first string this year. And my sister told me she met a nice guy at her summer job.
We cut to the interior of the hallway. Afternoon. Charlie leaves his room with his suitcase in hand. His mother waits in the hallway with Dr. Burton.
There he is. So I'll see you Thursday at 6, right?
Charlie nods and leaves the hospital with his mother.
My doctor said we can't choose where we can come from, but we can choose where we go from there. I know it's not all the answers, but it was enough to start putting these pieces together.
Dr. Burton smiles and turns back to the hospital. We cut to Charlie's dining room. The family sits at the dinner table.
God bless this food we are about to receive. We thank you for this bounty. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, amen.
After they all say amen, the room falls silent. The family's on pins and needles. Nobody is touching their food. And then Charlie breaks the silence.
So how do you think the Penguins are going to do this year, Dad?
Goddamn Penguins. I think they're allergic to goddamn defense.
What do the players call a puck again?
A biscuit.
Are you sure it's not a goddamn biscuit?
You're cruising for a bruising.
As things return to normal, Dad picks up his paper. Candace talks about the books that she'll need for college. Everyone starts eating, and Charlie smiles, happy to just be home. We cut to the interior of Charlie's house at dusk. The doorbell rings. The door opens to reveal Patrick, smiling.
And Charlie come out and play?
Charlie's mother smiles. Charlie smiles too, especially when he sees Sam standing next to Patrick. Her hair a little bit different, her eyes alive and happy. We cut to the interior of King's Family Restaurant at night. The gang of three sits at their booth. Sam and Patrick having their coffee. Charlie has a brownie, like always.
That first night, I had grilled stickies. It was so good. You have to visit in the fall. We'll have some, okay?
Definitely.
Oh, sorry, Sam. Charlie has a breakdown scheduled for October.
Charlie laughs, Sam smiles, and after a pause.
Well, can I tell you something? I've been away for 2 months now. It's another world. And it gets better. And my roommate, Kate, has the best taste in music.
She puts a cassette tape down on the table.
I found the tunnel song.
Charlie looks at Sam and Patrick, who both smile.
Let's drive.
We cut to the exterior of the restaurant. The three leave the restaurant and jump into Sam's truck, and Patrick drives. Charlie is now in the middle. Sam is the passenger.
I don't know if I will have the time to write any more letters because I might be too busy trying to participate. So, if this does end up being the last letter, I just want you to know that I was in a bad place before I started high school, and you helped me.
In the interior of Sam's truck, the three friends are flying down the highway, the music blaring, the wind making their hair dance.
Even if you didn't know what I was talking about, or even if you didn't know someone who's gone through it, it made me feel not alone.
With Sam's help, Charlie climbs through the little window at the back of the truck. In the exterior of Highway 376 North, Charlie gets into the back of the truck and sits down, looking back at the highway, watching everywhere he's been.
Because I know there are people who say all of these things don't happen. And there are people who forget what it's like to be 16 when they turn 17.
We see Charlie in profile, the night sky behind him, until they go into the tunnel, and we realize just how fast they're driving. The white tiles of the tunnel whiz by at blinding speed. It's a perfect night, a perfect drive. He's literally flying.
I know these will all be stories someday, and our pictures will become old photographs, and we'll all become somebody's parent. But right now, these moments are not stories.
Charlie turns to face forward, to the moment, to Sam smiling back at him in the front seat.
This is happening. I'm here. And I am looking at her, and she is so beautiful.
Sam kisses Charlie. Then she turns, and all three kids look ahead of everything in front of them. Charlie begins to stand in the back of the truck, ready to leave the tunnel.
I can see it. This one moment when you know you're not a sad story, you are alive. And as you stand up and see the lights on the buildings and everything that makes you wonder, and you were listening to that song on that drive with the people you love most in this world.
Charlie stands at the back of the truck. The wind is in his face. He's free.
And in this moment, I swear,
We see the moment as Charlie sees it. The tunnel's exit getting bigger and brighter with the lights of the city behind it.
we are infinite.
The tunnel song blasts over the speakers as the truck flies out of the tunnel. Sam and Patrick scream with excitement. Charlie holds his arms in the air, the weight of the world gone, if only for a moment. This one moment, we see the city, the millions of lights like white stars on a glass dome. We crane to the sky, and we are in heaven. Fade out.
Let's take a moment because that was a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. I've got nothing except great job. I mean, we all crushed it for the Norm. So.
Right. Yeah. Oh God, it's supposed to be me talking now, isn't it? Shit.
Yes, yeah, because again, I'm just along for the ride. I am taking this.
You know what?
I am taking this move off. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just go. I'll go in my order. So if I get somebody's name wrong, nobody gets to kill me. Okay. You don't know where I live. I changed my address.
Ah, damn it.
So we have Sean playing Patrick, first of all, doing a killer job. We have the lovely Ginger playing Mary Elizabeth and a bunch of other random people, and all of them with insane attitude. We have playing all of the grown-up women.
and all the stunted women, but it's okay.
We have Jonathan playing the chorus and Groucho for
yes!
playing all the teachers, fathers, etc. It literally says etc. on your name. We have Patrick. We have playing the ponytail mute and the muted ponytail. and all of the douchebags in the world, Cadaver Daddy-O.
Ah!
Thank you for taking one for the team tonight. I know you didn't want to say that one word.
Sometimes hate crimes happen. What can I say?
Yeah.
Oof.
That one.
But we
Yeah.
powered through. We did great.
Yes. We have Elizabeth playing Sam in an absolutely stunning performance. And finally, our absolutely stunning narrator, Mona. Everybody give it up for them.
Mona, you did amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The last
Absolutely.
So good.
The last
job,
20
babe.
Oh, the last 20 minutes killed me.
And our Charlie
Definitely.
tonight was Danny, who fucking crushed it and made
Yes.
everyone
Yes.
Everyone else
Right, way to leave
died.
yourself out.
Amazing job. Amazing job.
The fact that you could kill it with no dialogue.
Right.
I'm just watching your face literally redden, and I'm like, I need to switch my camera off because I'm gonna start crying.
So I'm not even gonna lie. So like right as you typed like your face like in the chat, like all of the cameras went blank, and I was like, oh shit, like because everything going on and my internet's being so stupid, and like all of the screens went blank, and I was like, oh fuck, like everybody's like losing their shit and turning off their cameras, and like I've got to try to keep going here, and like I'm like I don't know what face they were making, like is everything okay? So like in my head like everything is like running a mile a minute, like I don't know what's going on, and then for the entire end of the thing I couldn't see any of you guys, and I was like, cool, great, I don't know what's going on.
All you
Damn,
missed
well,
is every
shit.
person going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably for the better, but like, oh man, I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Danny, I had my cheap Halloween wig ready for Dr. Burton, but with you bringing it, I was like, no,
You had to
I
read the
gotta,
rhythm.
gotta play
come
it straight.
on.
Gotta
Come
play
on.
it straight.
Oh, you could have brought some Joan Cusack realness.
Yes.
We do stand her in this group.
Oh my god, I love Joan Cusack, but yeah.
How can you not?
So yes, that is our cast. That is our program for the tonight. I feel like I'm stepping into my hosting thing, and I'm like, that's our show.
You'll see us next week and every Monday. That's not true. Don't come back to the
every
stream
single
next
Monday
Monday.
with Brother Daniel and Sarah Shit. No, that's not what we're.
That's not tonight.
Not where we are.
No.
But yes, it was really wonderful for those of you who got to watch with us. We are so grateful. Once again, if any of the content had any impact on you, as I know it did on a number of us, make sure that you are utilizing your resources if you need to, checking in with friends. If you do need anyone to connect you to any resources, you can contact me. I know I'm getting nods from the rest of the cast that you can also contact them. We're all here. I think if I can go off on my own little tangent for a second, like this movie from the first time I saw it was one of the most important movies I've ever seen. It was the book too, but like and this is something that while it was sensitive, while it was hard, while it was really difficult to power through so much of it, it also conquers so much of what a lot of us go through, and especially within the queer community, within the trans community, like learning to feel alienated from your body, and then especially if you deal with the lack of autonomy that comes from some of the material that we dealt with tonight. It's intense and it's difficult in ways that we really don't know how to describe. I'm grateful for this movie for putting a lot of that into a context that makes other people kind of see what it means to go through some of this stuff. So yes, if you are still with us, if you are feeling generous, and if you're willing and able, you can find the link to donate to RAIN I know on my Facebook, and I think other people in the cast have their donation links up as well. And you can also call, oh shoot, you put it up there, like way up there, didn't you? The number is somewhere.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Do you have the number?
I don't right now, but I can pull it back up. Okay, 1-800.
I just sent. Yep.
All right, so the number for their 24-hour line, if you do need it, is 1-800-656-4673. So with that, I will adjourn, dismiss, all of that. Thank you so much to everybody, and thank you for those of you watching. It was a really, truly great night. Thanks, everyone.
See everybody in 2 weeks for Troop Beverly Hills. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
I love you all.